WIFTBPM.
Maze Jackson.
Tune in to the Maze Jackson Show every day, Monday through Friday from 6 to 9 a.m., where you can catch us on YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and Facebook Live. Plus, from 6:30 to 8, you can get us on WBGX 1570 a.m. That's right, it's the Maze Jackson Show, where every single day we ask the question, what's in it for the black people? And if you don't like it, you can still tell them, Maze said. We out of here. Peace.
If you're a business professional, have you ever wanted to multitask on your way to an important meeting instead of navigating through traffic? Fellowship Fleet Limousine and Bus Company is your solution for chauffeured ground transportation. Our company provides sedans, SUVs, stretch limousines, vans, and buses for corporate travel, airport transfers, and group shuttles. If you're a corporate travel manager, individual business professional, event or meeting planner, relax. Let us take the wheel. Visit fellowshipfleet.com to book right now.
You see me, you see him, my best friend. He hold me down like ankles fighting the waves. Apply not to my crime, yeah, I do time. Till I'm with you, I be counting the days. Yeah, ooh, been through so many things, but we always get through. Yeah, ooh, it ain't always perfect, but it's worth it. This is deeper than the surface. If I said I didn't love you, you would not know I've been frontin'. Wiped all my scars away like it was nothing. Took the parts of me I tried to hide to make them something, something, like it was nothing. Ooh, some magic, baby. Ooh, you know you drive me crazy. Ooh, you give me peace of mind. Ooh, let me tell you why. You make it easy, say, to take it easy, say, feel so weak, say, easy to love. Say, to take it easy, say, feel so weak, say, easy to love. I never thought that I would give it to you, but now I don't think it's the time, I won't do it. I think it's cause the way you talk to me, know how to say it without making me feel little. You're gracious even when you pop off on me. When you get done, I got a little something to drop off on you. Because you earned it with the time you took to put it that way. You got me liking to get put in my place. I didn't love you, you and I know I've been frontin'. Wiped all my scars away like it was nothing. Took the parts of me I tried to hide to make them something, something. Like it was nothing. Ooh, some magic, baby. Ooh, you know you drive me crazy. Ooh, you give me peace of mind. Ooh, let me tell you why. You make it easy. Say, to take it easy. Say, feel so easy. Say, easy to love. Easy to make it easy. Say, to take it easy. Say, feel so easy. Say, easy to love. You make it easy. You make it easy. You make it easy.
WIFTPM.
Uh-oh, what's in it for the black people?
You are listening to the most dangerous show in the morning. This is What's in It for the Black People Radio. Maze Jackson. Maze Jackson, the most vociferous advocate for black people in the world.
For Ruthie Moore, for Todd Stroger, I am the host of the Maze Jackson Show, asking every single day, what's in it for the black people? And if you don't like it, you can still tell them Maze said, Mayor Lightfoot, man, we ain't accepting that. We ain't accepting that. Let's go. Yeah. Let's get down to business and go ahead and address the facts. Man, Lightfoot seems more lesbian than black. Rahm Emanuel's another case. He was just as tired. 50 closed schools left much to be desired. Police had Anjanette naked on that body cam. They suppressed the footage so it couldn't touch a lot of hands. Reminds me of that 16 shots in that cover-up. Both of them similar, so I went and dug it up. George Floyd killed, a lot of riots happened in the town. Southside burned and they wouldn't let them bridges down. Grandmother sick, need a prescription and plus a couple groceries. You gon' have to travel just to get it now. COVID-19 out here shutting all the business down. Not enough SBA loans to even give around. So many failed businesses that you can put them in the pile. If you don't survive the pandemic, it's gonna sit you down. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. Shout out to Willie Wilson, hope one day you get to send it. We need some different players in the game to handle business. So many shady characters like Madigan and BLAGO. But when you really break it down, it's typical Chicago. City full of gangsters, it's what the land was built on. Same streets with hood legends, DNA get spilled on. Carjackers out here lurking, trying to get they steal on. Looking for a block to put them Hellcat wheels on. Let us give bogus appraisals a red line. Car crackers out here getting minimal fair time. And I'm the seal carry, I stay with the pipe. But Illinois gun laws giving minimal rights. Stay up on the swivel, make sure I'm moving tight. Check all of my mirrors when I pull up to the light. Pick my homie up from out of town, man, he caught a flight. He was hella nervous, told him, shorty, this is a way of life. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. Wake up, Chicago! Wake up, world. This is the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson, on this March 3rd. March 3rd. It is approximately 6:10 a.m. It is the day after the day of the headlines. Every headline talking about Riis. I've been since 2013 when I got knocked off my horse riding down to Springfield. I'm from Springfield. From the day that we killed the first opportunity for black people to participate in the cannabis game with blunt wraps, I have been talking, telling, and unraveling this story. I created a whole series called Illinois Minati around this. So, Riis, I'll be honest with you. I don't. It was like people were asking me, Maze, are you going to? I really wish I had the time yesterday to edit my greatest hits. I might, and I think I might do a replay on this Illinois Minati series because I already did this. Riis, I have been. Can I do something? I want to. Riis, I'm going to go back and I'm going to play an old clip real quick just because I feel like some of you may have joined me in this journey halfway in. So, Riis, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to play a short clip. And I want you to look at Maze then. I want you to see. I want you to think about this world coming full circle. Riis, I'm going to play a clip real quick. Ready? It's going. I think it's already in the switcher. So I think
Maze Jackson says the Duncan defection changes the power paradigm in Springfield.
When one guy breaks off.
Hold on. Let's do it again. Let's start from the beginning. This is the beginning of the public Maze Jackson. No, it's in my switcher, so you just got to turn the volume up. Renat, get ready. All right, so I'm about to turn. So do the same thing you did, and I'm gonna turn it on. Here we go. This goes back.
Political consultant and blogger Maze Jackson says the Duncan defection changes the power paradigm in Springfield.
When one guy breaks off the plantation, it's got to make a lot of people in Springfield real nervous.
That was Maze Jackson telling you back in 2015. Look at my glasses. Look at my beard. Look at my hair was dark. I had black. Look, I had dark hair. So I almost feel like today is going to be anticlimactic if you've been with the Maze Jackson show. If you somebody like Tiger, Lily, if you somebody like Alvin E. Norton, if you are somebody like Antonio, like Carrie Steele, if you've been with this movement, if you Felicia Simmons Stovall, if you are Dr. Audrey, if you are Tamiko Holt, if you are Ramel Terry, if you are Nidra Williams, if you are, then this story that you're seeing unfold was unfolded to you almost 5 years ago. Riis, if you look up on the screen in a minute, you're going to see I broke this web down so long ago. Riis, for telling the story that everybody is now going to get awards for, that everybody is covering, that everybody is running. Riis, I told them this story 5 years ago. And so today, I thought it only, after reading the speaker's statement and saying I did nothing wrong, that I was only practicing politics as it's been done and looking out for, you know what it made me think of? It made me think of the 14 years that Blagojevich got sentenced to for doing virtually the same thing. And it made me think about the speaker leading the charge to throw him away. And I was reading this, and I remember I used to tell the story. Yeah, see, Riis, you kind of young. You young in this family, right? This thing of ours. And I was trying to help y'all understand that remember when I used to tell the stories of the Irish mob, and y'all would be like, man, you crazy. And remember when I told you about remember I would be like, we would play The Godfather? And I would be like, and we would tell the stories, and people would be making fun of me, and they would be laughing, and they would be like, oh, he's just sensationalized. And here, 5 years later, I want you to look at the difference of the players one more time. Read some of the players that are on the screen are no longer with us. Some people have died as part of this. Some people have been indicted. Some people are still being indicted. I laid it out for you. Riis, I told you I was in the building the night that the deal went down with all of the players because I was there celebrating the beginning of my liberation. It was after a long war and a long battle. Riis, let me play it for you one more again. I'm about to bring back my switcher because I need you to. This was me trying to help us get free. And I remember this particular interview being the thing that they said sent dude off. That put me on the radar screen because here I am on Channel 7 talking about escaping a plantation. I've since been beat down. When you saw that, Riis, that was when I was still over 30K. Not 3 months after this video did they have me down to nothing. You ready? Here we go.
Political consultant and blogger Maze Jackson says the Duncan defection changes the power paradigm in Springfield.
When one guy breaks off the plantation, it's got to make a lot of people in Springfield real nervous. Real nervous.
Real nervous. Real nervous. Yes. All right, take me off the Jason.
Whole time I thought you was doing. I'm looking at the video you and the whole time I thought you was doing it.
So that look a little different. Hey y'all, this is the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. This is the day after the indictment. Feds indict Illinois boss, and I thought it was imperative that I put up the chart because y'all need to understand how the whole you dig work. Riis, how you feeling this morning, man? Maze Jackson Show. What's up, man?
Best, you already know the rest. How you doing?
I'm Riis. I want to tell you, 10 years ago, black people didn't even know who Mike Madigan was. Riis, I would tell you that 12 years ago, I knew who he was, but had no clue. It was only after that interview that I realized the full wrath and the full extent and the full level of this man's power. You know what I thought was ironic too? Was that this is the 50-year anniversary of The Godfather. And you know how, Riis, I think people be laughing when you talk about it, but I do honestly believe that deep down in most men, not most, but men of who seek power, if you've seen The Godfather, there is some component of that you want to implicate. Now, not to implicate, to emulate. Right? Like, I feel like almost every mob since that movie has come out has some stitches or some component of it. Somebody is referencing Michael. Somebody is referencing that movie. Like, I do not believe that there is a criminal enterprise in the country that does not have some Godfather aspiration. Can we agree with that?
We can agree.
Right? Like, even like, okay. So if you can agree with that, think about this, Riis. Think about, okay, so let's say dude is 70 years old. Think about being 70 minus 50. So let's say he's 75 minus 50. That makes him 25 years old. The Godfather comes out. And you look around and you be like, wait a minute. And for 50 years after that, you build the political replica of that in which you become not Don Vito, but Michael. Because you took the family legit. But you still the mob. I find it strikingly similar. And Riis, did you see they got indicted on a RICO? They got a RICO case. They called it the Enterprise. Hey boy, if y'all don't call me the Maestradamus now, you just hate. And I think some people owe me an apology. But I'm sure I will never get that. I'm sure no one will ever say, damn, Maze. Even the people that was the victims. Even if you sat by and watched. Look, I'm curious. Did I? Okay. Because sometimes, you need to hear from somebody else. Did I not tell y'all about this? I promise you I did. And we're going to talk about it and the implications. Because has anybody recognized that within the course of the beginning of, from February, this will go down as the year that Irish power in Illinois died. Or was killed. I don't know if they're going to bring it back. Because Riis, just think, they took the Daily down last month. They took Madigan down. Burke is a shadow of his former self, and you know it's coming. Because the Madigan stuff all started from the Burke stuff. So the granddaddy whopper of them all is still coming. It's still out there. But just think about this. In the course of Black History Month, from Black History Month to March, by the time Latino History Month or Latino Heritage American Month, they will have wiped the board. Riis, the head of the 5 families, just got knocked off. Now the question is, where do the shooters go? Where do the business go? Who gets the mob now? Does it stay unified, or does everybody try and get their own space and ain't nobody coming up under no chief no more? Riis? Now, do you see why I put this stuff in the way that I put it in? With the work and the... You see why? Because it really is... This is the dope game, except in politics. I said I wasn't going to get excited today. This is the Maze Jackson Show. this is probably the I Told You So show. And I think no better to tell you I told you so than at 7 o'clock. I got Blagojevich coming in. Now, I thought it was pretty. Now, check this out, Riis. Somebody is going to. Now, check this. And here's what's going to be the funniest thing ever. There are going to be people who say you shouldn't talk to Blagojevich in this space, even as Mike Madigan is being indicted. People, y'all, I want you to understand, the same people who tell me who I could be friends with and not be friends with, they friends is getting indicted. But I Riis, I don't want to be petty 3 days in a row. But I wanted to do, should I not read the newspaper today too? Should I be like, I shouldn't see none of that, right?
You just got to read it.
Don't talk, don't speak.
Don't read between the lines. You got to read the words.
There ain't even no lines to read between. Your boy is a criminal. If this was a black dude, they'll run him out the. Riis, we also. Can I ask a question? You know what, y'all? It'll be good for my soul. At 6:30, we're gonna open up the phone lines. If you have been with me through this challenge, through this, Riis, do you understand that people took plugs out of me for this dude? Do y'all remember when I went to Springfield and dude told me, what am I doing here? Like as if I wasn't allowed to come to the capital of the state of Illinois. Do y'all remember when I told you people were volunteering to join the army that was almost over? People that would never be captains in this dude's army were now captains and soldiers because he was losing his peace, but we was so busy to jump on his train because we still left in the past. Do you understand that this dude talked? Do y'all understand that this dude talked us out of having a black? Quite a few black people. I ain't even go crazy. I think it's only fitting that we have a conversation with Blagojevich. I just thought it was so amazing when I was reading the statement from the speaker. Talking about I didn't do anything wrong. I was just doing politics. And I was like, ain't that the same thing they arrested Rob for? So should he be getting the same 14? I mean, are we going to hear the same stories about the unprecedented level of criminal? Did you also see Riis, they trying to get like $5 million back from him? Hey, dog, that's on one case, though. So can I help y'all understand this? So dig this. Let's just put this in perspective. The federal government is suing them for about $2.5 million each for one case. One case, Riis. Now, that was one case over, let's say 5 years. Now imagine there are 5,000 bills, Riis. Hey, Riis, I want you to find for me the King of New York clip where he say you can either do that or you could get old boy from the Jay-Z, but he said, I don't want a dime bag to move in the park without me seeing a nickel bag in the park. You know that one? Dude, King of New York, nickel bag in the park. And I want you to put in perspective that if dude was the chief of the mob, everybody got to kick up. So now if you saw over 40 years, let's just say over 40 years, let's just say he only touched 1,000 of the bills. times, let's just say 200. So what's 200,000 times 1,000 times 40? Right? Because I'm averaging, he took 10 million. I mean, they're finding him $2 million in restitution. Now that's him and McClain each. Do I need to go back and break all this stuff back down? Give y'all all the players and the people in the hole, you dig? Well, I'm gonna save some of that because it's the Maze Jackson show and we're gonna talk about it. You know what I did not do though? I done got so caught up in it. Hey Riis, how you feeling this morning, man? DJ Riis the Rule on the ones and twos. What's up, man?
It's good, man. You know I'm blessed by the best. You already know the rest, man. And here on the Thursday, there's a lot going on, man. A lot going on. I said earlier, that Madigan name hit a little harder than that song this morning, didn't it? hit a little harder today. Man, that's crazy. This is and what's even more crazy that Illinois is so crooked. This is our fourth out of 11 the Speaker of the House has been to jail. 4 out of 11. Just
think though, he been the last one for the last 50 years. 40, but think about that. So think about that. 40. Then you think about 4 governors. While he was Speaker, at least 4 governors went to jail.
Wow, that's crazy.
Riis, but who gonna run the mob, dog? Like, they just took a whole mob out.
You know, it's chaos right now at the top.
Hey, Joe.
You know, they calling people, some people, holding down. You got the other people that's cracking under pressure. That, they don't know what to do. Listen, man, I hope,
So, man, hey, man, it's like this the time when we supposed to be out. See, now let me tell you what. Now, if we had a squad right now, like if all the black shooters was on one team right now, Riis, we could take the whole joint. But you know who got their guns ready? You know who been building their mob and who ready?
The Latinos.
Chewy Garcia. Did you see yesterday Chewy said it's not being the mayor ain't even on his radar? Which means, you know what, Riis? It's on his radar. Riis. Everybody is... Who mob you gonna join? Here go the craziest part, dog. The black people gotta choose between being LDs, SDs, or Latin Kings right now. We can't even join it. Riis, we can't even join our own mob right now. Cause our mobsters is looking to join. You see why I've been trying to get y'all black people first part? Do y'all understand what I'm telling y'all right now? The whole deck is up. Now, we can give all our decks up. You know what, Riis? What I just refuse to do is give up ownership so I could pay rent on my own land. Where do the black people fit in this new dynamic? Who's the new mob, Riis? We got to talk about all of this. Plus, hey man, do I got to go get my Rosetta Stone?
You better bring it out.
Hey man, the only stone I want to be is, let me stop. Because I was about to say to the bone, but all I'm saying is we can't have our own thing right now. Like, this is right, let me tell you. Right now, this is when all of the chiefs supposed to be like, hey, Joe, we can decide this after. We can go to war with each other after, but all the black chiefs got to be on the page right now. Because I'm just telling you, because this is what they doing right now. Riis, they going and saying, hey, man, they offering people the opportunity. They offering generals the opportunity to be lieutenants. We had an opportunity to be generals right now. They're going to ask you. But we think so less of ourselves, we'd rather be lieutenants in the other army than generals in our own. It's time for a meeting of the black generals. Like, the black pillars got to come together. It's like, while y'all busy talking about being more important than everybody else, you see, now I feel like I got to go back. Do you understand why it was so important for us to go to the next generation of black political leaders, and you see what our people are telling us? Do you remember my question last week? It's here, y'all. It is like straight up here. Look, I got to take a quick break, and we'll be back after these messages because we got to say what's up to the Saints. Plus, I got to, hey, Riis, we're going to have to start telling the Saints the address a little bit more. Hey, Saints, we'll be back after these messages.
Okay. From here on, nothing goes down unless I'm involved. No blackjack, no dope deals, no nothing. A nickel bag gets sold in the park. I want in. You guys got fat while everybody starved on the street. It's my turn.
You think you're gonna live long enough to spend that money, you fucking hump?
The Maze Jackson Show will be back after this break. Maze Jackson.
Caller, you on the Maze Jackson Show? What's up?
Hi, this is Katie. How are you?
Hey! Okay, hold on. I'm going to make an official nomination right now that we make Katie the new president of the phone club. Riis, can I get a second from you, man?
I second it.
All right, it's been moved and properly seconded. Everybody tuned in on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, or Twitch. If you vote that Katie should be the new president of the phone club, please signify by saying aye. The ayes have it. Congratulations, you are now the new president of the phone club. Katie from Ashburn.
We did it. We did it. You're going to be the next president.
How you doing, boss lady?
Fine. Thank you. I accept that nomination. Thank you.
All right. You got drafted.
Maze Jackson.
It's the Maze Jackson Show, where every single day we ask the question, what's in it for the black people? And if you don't like it, you can still tell them. Maze said, we out of here. Peace.
And now, traffic and weather.
Yo, who said devotion has to be sad? Yo, check this out. The Lord is my shepherd, and I want. He's making me to lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside the still waters. He restored my soul. God's gonna turn it around.
Come all the way with me.
Good morning. What's in it for the Black People Media family? The time is now 6:38 a.m. and I'm Riis the Ruler with your Chicagoland area traffic and weather report. As we head over to the Kennedy today, O'Hare to the Loop is 23 minutes. Outbound to O'Hare will be 17, while on the inbound, outbound on the Edens will be 28 minutes in both directions. On the Eisenhower, Thorndale to the Loop, 31 minutes, 28 minutes back out to Thorndale, while on the Stevenson, we got from I-355 to the Dan Ryan, 32 minutes, 28 minutes outbound. The Bishop Ford, I-80 to the Dan Ryan will be 35 minutes, 29 minutes to I-80. The Dan Ryan is currently 16 minutes to the Loop, 13 minutes to 95th. On DuSable Lakeshore Drive South will be 7 minutes and 8 minutes north. Today's weather is currently 30 and cloudy. Today will be a high of 34 and a low of 28. I'm Riis the Ruler here on this Thursday, the Maze Jackson Show.
To the grave, from the grave. Glory to Gethsemane, to the grave, from the grave. Back to glory. Oh yeah. Come all the way with me. Don't leave me now. Come all the way with me. Oh, please. God's gonna turn it around. God's gonna turn it around.
You are tuned in to the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my man DJ Riis the Ruler on the ones and twos. Riis, I don't think we got the soul plane up off the ground, so why don't you get that together? In the meantime, I'm gonna say what's up to all the seniors that are tuned in every day, Monday through Friday, 6:30 a.m. to 8 a.m. That's right. You join us every day on WBGX 1570 a.m. So that's when the Saints get here. Saints get here every day, Monday through Friday, 6:30 to 8. Now the Sinners, and they can catch us on WBGX. Now the Sinners, they get here a little early. They get here at 6 and they got to stay a little late because they get a detention, so they got to stay till 9. Riis, you know we got guests coming, so make sure that you turn on the tube too when we come. But y'all, this is the Maze Jackson Show. Thank you to everybody watching us on YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, Facebook Live. We are doing our thing. All right, Riis, let's get the soul plane up to 60,000 feet. Y'all stay tuned because at 7 o'clock I'm going to have from the Lightning Rod podcast, former governor of the state of Illinois. I'm going to be asking them, are they going to use those, how they be using those titles for people like disgraced former Speaker of the House Mike Madigan? Is he gonna get the and are they gonna give him one of them pictures? I'll be wondering, so if you've been doing a criminal enterprise, how come why do it seem like the black people always get caught by the cameras? Right? They always gotta see you coming up out the federal courthouse. Excuse me. I guess that's what $2 million a quarter in legal fees will get you. Now, Riis, it's a lot going on today, man. Should I say I told you so or no? Is this like one of those? And
yeah.
I feel like I want to say it with an attitude.
No, you know how
say it nicely.
Sometimes when it happens, you just be like, you know how you just said I told you so many times. And then when it happened, you just want to sit back and just smile this time and just watch it. You just got to just sit back and be like, I told you 5 years ago. You know what I'm saying?
Hold on, I want to do something real quick.
Be them Democrats that we be voting for, huh?
Hey man, don't you start with the slave commercials.
I'm just saying, man. It'd be that he probably sold us some dreams and told us he was gonna do all this stuff, and then right here, you see what he was doing with all our taxpaying money, huh? All them dreams that we was really funding was his dreams. Okay.
Our years. Father. No, I need this. No, you know what I need? That ain't what I need. I need
switch the cord.
No. I am going to read it. And I know it, but I just don't want to mess it up because I feel like I'm going to mess it up only because dang. Hold on. I want to read it out loud. Because I you know what? The Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still water. He restoreth my soul. He leadeth me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table for me in the presence of mine enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil. My cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. I wanted to read it, not recite it. And I feel like, because sometimes I might mess it up, and I feel like I learned it a long time ago, but I got it. There are so many times through this process
where everybody wanted me to fear a man and to not, like, man, and I don't know what pressed me, and I don't know why I don't feel. Somebody said you should do a thing and you should say you feel vindicated. It's not that I feel vindicated. I feel like people acted like I was crazy. Like, and it's amazing to watch as all the people will now say they will jump on the bandwagon and be like, man, he was bad, he was this, he was that, but all the time telling me to bow down. You know how you just feel like you stood up, and it's like, while all of this was happening, and all, like, everybody be like, no, that's not, they wouldn't do something like that. Like, everything I told you about, from passing bills to writing legislation to force people to have to buy, bro, it was a racket. But now I gotta ask you, y'all. And Riis is out here probably entertaining the guests, so I can't get him to hit the big button. But I'm ready for him. He out here see, Riis got on his pink shirt, so he ready for real today. It's probably not pink, it's probably fuchsia. Riis, I want to ask the social media question today. Can you get the big voice for me? All right, y'all. In the face of the end of the Irish mob, and I'm using that actually like the feds. My bad. I gotta ask you, man. Riis, give it to me.
It's time for the social media question of the day.
Are we ready for a Chuy Garcia mayoral run? Open up the phone lines. Give us a call, 872-259-7474. Riis, like I told you, when you knock off the head, everybody got to have a mob. Somebody is looking at the ring. Like, people don't want to talk about it. Somebody don't want. But the crown, the king, the ring of who will be the most powerful person in Illinois is now up for grabs. At the same time, or almost simultaneously, you've watched the destruction of the Irish political mob dismantled. And at this point, Riis, somebody's got to step up to be the new chief. Now, the quickest way to ascend to the most powerful spot with chaos is to become the mayor of the city of Chicago. Because if you become the mayor of the city of Chicago, you got the keys to the throne. If you know how to wield the keys to the throne. Now, we saw Chuy Garcia. Now, let me back up because I want to set the stage. Yesterday, Chuy Garcia, when on a phone call from Washington, D.C., said that the running for the mayor of Chicago, especially now that Arnie Duncan was out, was definitely not on his radar. And usually, Riis, when somebody tells you something is definitely not on their radar, then why are we talking about this on the phone, dog? What's up? Because it's on your radar. Riis, in the meantime, you notice Chuy has been behind the scenes moving the map around. You've noticed that Chuy has had an additional congressional district created. He has now run the narrative of he's now run the undocumented narrative of making us the most immigrant-friendly state in the city, in the country. He's also secured an alliance with Governor Pritzker, who, quite frankly, Riis, if I am in pursuit of being the most powerful man in the state of Illinois, I really want Pritzker dead. And Pritzker's going to have a real challenge this upcoming cycle. I see Pritzker as the new Pat Quinn. Will he be able to turn out the black vote? And Riis, so right now, Chuy seems to have one of the strongest hands in the place. Mayor Lori Lightfoot polling at 30%, Riis. She's 10 points lower than Rahm Emanuel. After Laquan.
He still won, didn't he?
He
still
No,
won.
he didn't.
Oh,
he didn't run again.
About that one? Okay.
He didn't run again.
I thought you were talking about the one with.
The one he won was the one Chewy's first entry into the place. And now Chewy is invoking he is replicating the Harold Washington draft me to win. Draft me to, I'm not interested. Chewy, we need you to save us. I'm not interested. Chewy, we need you to save us. And then all of a sudden, Riis, he says, well, because my constituents, he said, I need a pile of money. He got in the paper. He said, I need a pile of money and I need some overwhelming support. So basically what now Chewy has just thrown his hat into the ring, because I also want you to know that the big bucks are looking for a mayoral candidate. Riis, will black people have lost their chance to have the first to have a black male mayor? And I'm going to tell you, this is 100% why this issue that I keep telling you is the most important issue to black people going forward is the right of undocumented immigrants to vote in municipal elections. Because if that happens, friends, you're gone. You might as well be trying to be the mayor of Lansing, bro. Because it's all the way a wrap. Give us a call, 872-259-7474. Y'all ready for Chewy to be mayor? Because you ain't ready. Who you got? Well, let's say we still got Cam out there. But Riis, and more is looking like it's a wrap for the black people, man. And here's the thing. The feds did y'all ain't even got to be scared. Because you know everybody, we were bred to be scared of Madigan. We were bred to be scared of the Irish people. We was bred to be that way in Chicago. And now the feds did all the work. And now we still ain't ready, dog. And then what makes it so crazy is the Latino. Did you see MLI? You saw my man Juan Rangel hit me up. He said, hey, Mace, we putting the band back together. I said, dang, Juan, I can't go to MLI Next Generation and we ain't even had black people leadership first generation. Our programs teach our kids to be, man, please. Just think about the gravity of Chewy holding the census meetings at the Urban League. And we like, okay. Riis? Y'all ready for Chewy Garcia? You got your Rosetta Stone? Man, you know how long these press conferences gonna be, man? You saw when he endorsed JB, we had to get his version, then we had to get the Spanish version, then we had to get hey Joe.
I'm going off my real name and tell them that I was stripped from my heritage and I don't know Spanish.
I am going home to find my long lost roots. Thank you to all of my amigos who took care of us during slavery. You always say, hey, bro. And I'm just gonna tell you. Remember last time the black people was telling us we needed to vote for Chewy. Hey, we all. So let me ask the question. Y'all voting for Chewy? Who? Doomed, Riis. Doomed. See, 5 years I've been telling you, get your guns, get your knives. Didn't I tell you? I said they cannot last forever. And we just watched the Dailies and the Madigans go down in less than a month, bro. Which means that Burt can't be far behind because he was the one that this all started with.
I don't understand why.
And we about to vote for Chewy.
I don't understand why they want to get on. I'll get on the fastest flight and it's so far in Cuba.
Who?
Like I know they have to know that they come.
He can't run. If he would have got on the plane, I bet you if the speaker got on the plane anywhere in the last 2 years, you get on the plane, dog. And here go the craziest part, Joe.
Private.
Hey, Riis.
I would have been in Cuba so far.
Hey, Riis. You can't go to Cuba. You can't be. You got to find a white country to go to because you done discriminated against everybody everywhere. Man, bro.
Money talk.
You're right.
Money
does
talks.
Money talks. They be like, welcome to Miami. Hey, bro. So let me ask a question. Are we prepared for Chuy Garcia? Black people, how would you respond? Because, I don't even know if you could beat it. Riis, you going to be Dejo. Riis ain't going to be Riis no more. He'll be Dejuan. Maison? I'm going to be like, Maison.
There you go. You know how you got to man up.
I'm going to change my ends to Maisonnier. I'm going to put some Inyes over my joints. But
you got a little asterisk over it.
Oh, an accent, right?
Yeah, you good.
Maisonette. No, that's French. Give us a call, 872-259-7474. Chuy Garcia yesterday announced that running for the mayor of the city of Chicago was not on his radar. Riis, when a politician tell you it ain't on his radar, it's on his radar. And I do believe that Chuy, who in Chicago has an organization already? Chuy Riis. Riis, he got the black people all jacked up in the map. He done started a war in city council. And I feel like the thing that's gonna happen here is that will the mayor start to make concessions to him to try with the hope? You know how they do appeasement? Remember how Hitler did appeasement, where every time he wanted something, people just gave it to him with the hopes that he would stop asking for stuff. But the more you gave him, the more he asked for. See, I feel like Michelle Harris, I feel like the mayor is set to cross. JB is going to cross the Black Caucus on the map. Because he's going to want to be with the progressives. He already crossed us with I'm not going to say crossed us. I'm going to say he shrewdly outmaneuvered us for the Secretary of State race. Do you understand that for the last 30 years, 40 years, all of our black politicians have bent the knee to the dude? And now we don't have nobody on our squad that's ready to fight. Riis.
Too busy trying to align
the shooters
with him, man.
Shooters finna be, hey be generals in our own army and start accepting lieutenants in somebody else's. Hey, bro, they about to rebuild HDO, MLI, and the traditional Mexicans to get the traditional Latino community together. So then they gonna use this immigrant piece. Next thing you know, Riis, you're gonna be running for the mayor of Matteson. Like we literally bowed down for the last, between the two people that we talking about, we bowed down for all of my life, with the exception of Harold Washington. Black people have bowed down to the Irish power structure, with the hopes that one day we would be rewarded as knights, dukes, and duchesses, never ever recognizing that there would be an opportunity for us to have the crown. And now that the crown is up, who we got? The CTU back Chuy Garcia? They did the last time. That'd be kind of interesting, y'all. Will this power vacuum create? Because who does everybody line up with, Riis? See why your people of color joint don't make the sense no more? It's the Mace Jackson Show. Give us a call, 872-259-7474. Look, y'all. You know, remember that song, Ding Dong, the Witch is Dead? I think that was when I was in my play. In second grade, we did The Wizard of Oz. And I'm going to tell you, after reading the indictment, I really feel like Riis, it wasn't that they were so much smarter than us. It's like they saw The Godfather just like us, but they had the tools to put it in play. But as I read the indictment, It seemed like all of the Madigan mythology was really just that. He don't have a cell phone. Fool on the cell phone. He'll never talk. They'll never catch him on the wire. Fool on the wire talking about. Now, he walked into, Danny Solis said, yo, quid pro quo, quid pro quo. He agreed to it. This Madigan thing is about the mind and controlling our mindset around him. Riis, I never forget the first time I saw dude in person. You ever have like everybody like scared to death and you see dude in person, you be like, man, if I push you, you're gonna. When he walked up to me and said, what are you doing in Springfield, Riis? I felt like, man, if you hadn't made a law that said if I punched you in your face, and I'm not saying that but it's crazy to me to see how someone so what do you call it? Commands so much little physical space, could occupy so much space in the minds of people that could probably physically crush him would be scared to look at him in the eyes as Saputos. And for the life of me, I was like, this is the dude. And now here we are. 5 years later. Let me get Riis, I got to play my clip one more time. Because I need y'all to see how this process has aged the brother. I feel like, when they show the pictures of the presidents, right? The presidents be like 5 years later. Let me just get it to you. Ready? You give it to me. Come on back. One more again. And then when we come back, are they here? Anybody here? All right, when we come back, we're going to talk to, hold on. Mark Vargas, and Mark Vargas will be here, as well as former Illinois Governor Rod Blagojevich, to give us his opinion on what happened, the irony of it all. But Riis, I'm going to just go ahead and play it one more time. And then
Political consultant and blogger Mays Jackson says the Duncan defection changes the power paradigm in Springfield.
When one guy breaks off the plantation, it's got to make a lot of people in Springfield real nervous. It's the Mays Jackson Show. We'll be back.
The Mays Jackson Show will be back after this break. Mays Jackson.
Tune in to the Mays Jackson Show every day, Monday through Friday from 6 to 9 a.m., where you can catch us on YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and Facebook Live. Plus, from 6:30 to 8, you can get us on WBGX 1570 a.m. That's right, it's the Mays Jackson Show, where every single day we ask the question, what's in it for the black people? And if you don't like it, you can still tell them, Mays said. We out of here. Peace.
I don't know what you did, but you did it right. Girl, you make it look so easy. Everywhere you go, there's turning left and right. Can't say you a dime, you're a 20-piece. Cause girl, you're the reason I be acting funny. Everything in me telling me don't let you get away. And all the guys looking like they wanna love you. Every day I'm your body, got not over my dead body. Why you gotta look so good? Why you gotta look so good? Why you gotta look so good? With your hair done, nails done, when you put that clothes on. Why you gotta look so good? With your hair done, nails done, when you put that clothes on. Why you gotta look so good? I can look and see you're not an average chick. You're shutting it down everywhere you go. Girl, I want you as bad as I want a check. Cause you're sexy from head to toe. Girl, you're the reason I be acting funny. Everything in me telling me all that you get hair done, nails done, when you put your grown on. It's something about you when you put your grown on, baby. Oh, when you're waking up straight out of bed, girl, why you gotta look so good? Oh, when you're at the job just taking a break, girl, why you gotta look so good? In the club turning up, why you gotta look so good? On the dance floor giving more. Why you gotta look so good? Why you gotta look so good? Why you gotta look so good? Girl, you know you be killing them when you be getting your own woman on. Why you gotta look so good? With your hair done and your nails done, when you put that grown on, girl, why you gotta look so good? Girl, why you gotta look so good? Why you gotta look so good?
To the Maze Jackson Show. You are listening to the most dangerous show in the morning. This is What's in It for the Black People Radio. Maze Jackson. Maze Jackson, the most vociferous advocate for black people in the world.
Church if you ain't trying to help us. Don't even try to be around and can't protect us. We see the lies now of the politicians. We need money and no symbolism. It's Maze and Riis and Ruthie and Ides, explaining how we all come from God, giving us tools to beat the odds. If we united, our movement gon' stop. If they ain't trying to help us, they ain't trying to do nothing. We gotta do something, we gotta stop running. It's time to confront the problem. Really, you expect, you oppress us all. In the mirror, realize you great. Yeah, we always argue with our brothers, but ain't nobody gonna take our place. Just stay in tune and stay on top about who forwards, about who not. Just green light all the black economy, then watch all the shooting don't stop. To my black people in power, just remember we put you in power. If you really wanna save all the black princesses, be Mario and not Bowser. They gave us a hard job. We gon' make it if we do it together. Divided we fall, we gotta evolve. With confidence, you are ready before you started. With no confidence in the people, we always gon' read the people.
Wake up, Chicago! Wake up, world. This is the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my man, DJ Riis, the ruler, on the ones and twos. And if you are looking at the screen, you checking us out live, you see in the building, he is the, I'm going to start, I guess, should I go backwards? Should I say the Hulu star, celebrity, Hulu special, was it number 2 for the year? Star of Being, Blago.
Is that a question to me, Maze?
No. You know. Once this is like Tyrone Muhammad II. So once I get you started, I know you're gonna take the mic, so I'm gonna be all good. Now, he also star of The Celebrity Apprentice. Also formerly formerly a resident at a federal penitentiary or two. But prior to that, governor of the greatest state in Illinois. Prior to that, I believe he was the congressman for the greatest state of Illinois, in this greatest state in Illinois. And then just right before that, I want to say he may have been an Illinois state representative, and prior to that, an attorney. But here today, he is the captain of irony. You may ask me, why do I call him the captain of irony? Because I must tell you that as I saw the response to the indictment of who, at this point I got to say unarguably, had to have been the undisputed most powerful man in Illinois politics, Michael J. Madigan, was indicted yesterday. And I feel like it was sort of anticlimactic, but ironic at the same time. And I said ironic because when I saw his response, after he made the statement, and I think it said something around, I'm being accused of doing what they do in Illinois politics, which is looking out for my constituents' job. I was like, this sounds oddly familiar. But when the shoe was on the other foot, it was criminal. Now, I got to be honest with you guys. I grew up in Chicago. I grew up in Illinois politics. Really, all of this stuff that they're talking about, honestly, I'm a little nervous because they're making what I knew as the political way, and maybe it's only because this man was so influential in shaping how we did politics that it just became the way. But I found it ironic that the Speaker of the House, who led the charge to have, who I gotta say was probably the most popular governor for black people in this whole state, Governor Blagojevich, he led the charge to have you removed from office. And so, yesterday people were calling me, because I've been in this fight for a while now with this guy, and people were like, do you feel vindicated? And I was like, no, I don't feel vindicated, and I feel kind of anticlimactic. But if there is anybody that should feel vindicated, and I was waiting, I promise you yesterday I looked and I was waiting for you to do the tap dance. I was waiting for you to be popping bottles of champagne, and here you go being freaking gracious. But I gotta ask you, like, just between me, you don't worry about, don't look at the TV, don't look over there. Governor Blagojevich, I still give you my props, man. Talk to me about what went through your mind yesterday. Because I know you're a social media dude, so I know you probably got a tweet before you saw it on TV. I don't even know if the kids even see it on TV anymore. You got the tweet that says that former House Speaker Mike Madigan is arrested by the feds. Tell me what you thought immediately.
Hi, Mace. It's so good to see you.
Welcome. You're like, damn, can I get a hello?
No, it's
like,
okay.
What's up, dude? You're like, man, I ain't seen you since last year, and now I can't even get a hello in the building. Oh, by the way, thank you for my 13-minute birthday message. It is probably one of my most popular videos this week. I'm glad you mentioned me in it, too. Thank you. I'm glad you remember me in there. Hey, Governor Blagojevich, welcome back to the Mace Jackson Show. Talk to us, man. What's up? How you feeling? And then I want to know what you're thinking.
Yeah, thanks, Mace. Thanks for having me. Well, I heard about the news yesterday. I just got done running, and I was on the phone talking to my producer on my new podcast called Lightning Rod Today.
See, you got a producer. See that? You got a producer already. Dude gets out and get cracking. Now he's doing better than me already. Go ahead, Governor. Talk to me.
No, I ain't doing better than you and Hulu. That documentary that we did, it did as well as it did because you were the star of the show. You were effing golden on that.
Hey, I'll take that. Make sure you make that a clip. Thank you very much. I'll take that. All right. Thanks. And Mark, thank you for thinking of me in that, man. Like, thank you. Shout out to everybody involved with that. It was so riveting. Like, I feel like I was like, I'm gonna be honest with you. I was like, okay, I might make it to the to the first episode. I don't know if I'm going to make it through 3. And then I was just like, Jesus, we're going to have to just go ahead and binge watch this. Not just because I'm in it, but it was just so engaging. And before we even go any further, I got to make sure I send a big shout out to Patty one more time. I think she was the star of it, and she has been the star of this whole thing. So shout out to Patty Blagojevich. Go ahead, Rod.
No, thank you, Maze. Well, it was one of the producers from the Hulu documentary who contacted me. He sent me a text, and he said that precisely that Madigan is being indicted today. And I texted back while I was on the phone with my producer on my podcast and just said something like, no kidding, wow. So that's how I first heard about it. And then I followed up with a text asking, what's your source? How do you know this? And he said, 4:30 press conference at the Dirksen building. And by the way, Maze, I hate that building. That's like the worst spot in the whole wide world, right? I have nothing but bad memories there. And now, ironically, as you say, my political nemesis, Mike Madigan, is going to have to go to that building too. Now, you said I was supposedly gracious about my comments with regard to him. What I said, and I'll say it again, is I wouldn't wish something like this on even my worst political enemy, and Michael Madigan has been my worst political enemy. He, I think, was instrumental in what happened to me. I do believe that there's evidence to suggest that Madigan and that lying, dishonest U.S. Attorney Patrick Fitzgerald colluded to bring me down and impeach me, remove me, and disqualify me from running for any office for things that are routine political things and things that are legal. And to this day, in spite of almost 8 years in prison, I'll never stop saying that I didn't break a single law, cross the line, or take a penny, because I didn't. Now, the difference between me and Madigan is...
Get with it, dog. I'm ready.
Well, he got rich in the business, and I didn't. He finished his career in politics, a multimillionaire, and I finished it broke. And when you think about the difference between that, I think that should wake people up and take an honest look and see, what I was about and what he was about. I know what I was about, fighting for real people. And you talk about the accomplishments I did for black people. I can't tell you how grateful I am to God for giving me a chance to be able to have the power to do that stuff. Madigan was an obstacle during all of that. It was possible to do these things largely because Emil Jones was a Senate president at the time, and he was an ally of mine, and we together advanced health care. We invested in public education, preschool, mammograms and pap smears for uninsured women, free public transportation for our seniors. When I did that, Madigan, that was the first time he came out and had a memo urging House Democrats to impeach a Democratic governor because I gave free public transportation to senior citizens. So if you're asking me, what do I think about Madigan and his circumstances today, I feel like in some respects the hand of God is handling all of this. My family and I, Patty, as you say, we've been through a long, long, hard journey. My heart was always right. I wouldn't give in because I know I broke no laws. Those people that did to me what they did were corrupt, bad cops. Black community knows what that's like. And we'll see whether or not Madigan did or didn't do the things they're saying he did. And I urged him yesterday in one of the media interviews I did, hey, Mike Madigan, if you know you didn't do it, get out there and tell the public you didn't do it. Don't hide in the back room, that place where you do business all the time. Get out there. Tell the people you didn't do it and why you didn't do it. And if those people coming after you are lying on you, then call them out. But you'll see he's going to hide behind his lawyers. His statement yesterday was all about having his lawyers put out a statement, and we'll see whether or not, where this goes. But all I can tell you is he's a multimillionaire. Madigan got rich. His family got rich. His friends got rich. All those Madigoons down there got rich. It's a system in Springfield that's corrupt, that serves itself on the backs of the people. He built a political empire. He has been, as you said, the most powerful figure in Illinois politics for 4 decades. And now he's going to have to face judgment, and we'll see what happens.
Rod, the story. So I've been doing this Madigan story since I went crazy in Springfield. I'm gonna put a graphic up on the screen for you to take a look at. It'll be up there in a hot second, but it reads like The Godfather. I was thinking about how ironic it was that 50 years ago, the original Godfather came out. And then I'm thinking about this guy being in power for 40 years. And I'm thinking about, has there ever been a criminal enterprise since The Godfather came out that wasn't inclusive of The Godfather. Like the elements of The Godfather. And if you take away, say this guy is what? Let's just say he's 75. You take away 50 years from that, and he went to go see The Godfather. Do you think he modeled this enterprise after I really feel like, are we going to read a story of Mike McClane sitting in a bathtub somewhere doing the Frank Pentangeli, right? Like, is this, in your mind, did it operate like a criminal, like a political version of the mob? I always, if you listen in the background, we always, as I used to tell this story 5 years ago, and if you look on the screen, I did a kind of like a roadmap to all of the political players and the sneaky web of things that occurred. Was this a political mob in your estimation, Rod?
You know, I never thought about that analogy between Madigan and Don Corleone and, you know, politics in Springfield and The Godfather and the mob. But no, I think that's a not only an apt analogy, it's almost a perfect analogy.
I mean,
you got to kiss the ring of that little guy. You know what I'm saying?
Man.
And he's just a tiny little guy. You follow me? With skinny little arms. But everybody's kissing his ass down there. Can you say that on radio?
You can.
Okay.
You're saying it on gospel.
Yeah.
So just know you're on gospel.
No.
So you know there's a lot of saints out there that still love you, man. So don't burn up your, there's a lot of seniors that still benefit from you. So just, remember that. Because now if we have to hate, then you can definitely curse. You say what you want to say. But so as I used to tell the story of Madigan, I almost felt like Noah in the wilderness saying, like, Joe, this thing is happening. It's a storm coming. This guy, and people would be like, oh no, you're crazy, Maze. This could never happen. Rod, how does a guy like this amass this kind of power? And talk to me about how those levers of power are used, because you were supposed to be the most, in my estimation, if you're the governor, it seems like you'd be the most powerful person in the state of Illinois. How does Mike Madigan, or how did it operate when you were there, that he exercised his power? And then how did you and Emo Jones figure out a way to navigate around him? Because, they make him like he's the smartest guy in the world, but when I read this indictment, it's not like he's really the smartest guy in the world. I mean, dude said quid pro quo, quid pro quo. You're like, yeah, let's do some of that, right? It's like, it's not that they're the smartest. It's they just had all the tools in the toolbox. Talk to me about how they leverage power without guns.
Well, first of all, it doesn't happen overnight. It takes time. You referenced Madigan. He was first elected. Excuse me, Mace. He was first elected in 1972. So he'd been there since 1973, nearly 50 years. He'd been a speaker since 1983, with one interruption between 1995 and 1996. And so over time, he was able to amass this really almost singular power. And he did it because largely by controlling the access to the campaign contributions. And the money would come from the different special interest groups in Springfield. Now, this stuff is what I call legal corruption. You have to go out and raise money because that's the rules are you can do that. And you can't govern effectively if you're not strong politically. Politics is the means to govern. And if your heart is right and your priorities are for the people, you use your political strength to get things done that help people. See, where Madigan was just the opposite was he used his political strength to help himself, his political power base, and grow that, to get rich in the business, which he did, to make his family and get his family members rich, which he did, and his friends rich. And because they were all beholden to him, he was the center, sort of the hub, and they were all the spokes. They all had to go to him. So he was making all these people rich. The special interest groups were benefiting by Madigan, and they would keep contributing money, and Madigan basically established a pattern where all those different special interest groups would go to him, not the individual state lawmakers. And a lot of those state lawmakers, and increasingly more and more of them as time went by, were less and less independent. He actually picked them as candidates, and he made them state reps. They were basically glorified precinct captains. You know, they claimed to be these elected officials, but Madigan was able to fund all their campaigns, send all of his staff members in there to run their campaigns, and then once they got elected, they were wholly owned by Madigan. There were certain state lawmakers who were self-sufficient, can elect themselves, but most of them over time became basically Madigoons, glorified precinct captains. So by controlling the money, he also was able to then control the jobs and was always looking to put his people into different agencies in state government, and then they became beholden to him, and he was notorious for people who would periodically show some modicum of independence, and Madigan would come down very hard on those people. He'd get them, if he couldn't get them fired, he'd get them transferred to the other side of town.
So back up, talk to me about that, because I thought patronage was dead. It's like when you, it seems like he had an inside patronage and outside patronage that allowed him to build an army while everyone else wasn't able to feed their troops. He seemed like to be a person who could feed his troops. And if you look at this indictment, he fed them well.
Right. Well, you see what he did there, and that's
explain it to the listeners.
And again, it's because he's been doing this for 50 years. I mean, that's 5 decades, right? And in a real position of power for 40 years, 43 years, 45 years. In any event, in the old days, in the early stages of Madigan's reign, it was the old school politics, that patronage part. So the jobs and those opportunities were mostly in government, city jobs. I mean, Madigoons are all over. You know, they're littered all over.
So that's a real thing. That's not a Mace Jackson made up thing.
Oh, no, it's a very real thing.
Okay.
And they're also in county government because Madigan was the chairman of the Democrat Party, and he would be instrumental in getting candidates for the big county positions slated by the Democrat Party. They became beholden to him. Joe Barrios, the Board of Tax Appeals guy, where Madigan would do work in his law firm. That's where Madigan got rich. Barrios was his guy. So he had him everywhere. He had him in city government, state government, county government. And as time changed and that old patronage system was getting whittled down through a variety of things, including federal indictments and good government initiatives, the media scrutiny and all the other, Madigan made adjustments. And he started moving from government jobs to private sector jobs, hence his problems now with Commonwealth Edison. Private sector, but they are beholden and needing to state government for their rates and their legislation to be able to, charge people more money when they turn the lights on. So Madigan adjusted to the changing times. What never changed, though, and this is part of the allegations against him in those indictments, was these so-called no-show jobs, ghost payroller jobs, where you get a government salary, but you don't have to go to work, where you work for ComEd, but you do little or no work. Now, he's going to say that it was not true, but I can tell you as a fact, the Madigoons are known for having big top jobs in city government, streets and sands and other kinds of places, and never having to go to work. Their job was to go in the precinct in the 13th Ward and make sure Madigan and his candidates got big votes. And as long as they did that, those guys did little or no work. And this goes way back to the very beginning, the 80s, the 90s, even into the 2000s.
So, Rod, I get how that works, say, for his community. But how does he become essentially all-powerful? Like, where just the mere mention of his name.
Right.
I was reading this where they were saying and Parmejori was saying, if we don't concede to him now, then we're going to have to give up a 5-year contract later. So let's just do this now and take it. Was it from your understanding, like, it's interesting to me because what's my...
This music's fantastic.
I mean, it is because as you tell this story, I mean, I think about it. My mom ruined me at an early age. We used to watch The Godfather reruns, and so I am a Godfather file, if they call it. If there's a Godfather file, I am a Godfather file. But I think about this, and I think about Mike McLean being the consigliere, right? Where he is advising, he is the hand, and there's a Game of Thrones component to this as well, where he's the hand of the king. Talk to me about kind of this Mike McLean component of it, because I think he was the ultimate insider insider that nobody knew. But like you read these stories and it's like, dog, you're talking to the president of like one of the major corporations in the world. And it's like, and if you don't do what I tell you, you know it's going to do. Break down that legal. Did you see that part about the legal hours and all of that?
Yeah, I did.
Explain that to me. Because it seemed like, well, you tell me what you thought when you read that. And why does it seem like they are not naming all the people that are involved in this thing? And they're still getting the opportunity to operate. It's crazy to me because there seem to be people who are in this indictment that are still moving around and still making moves. Tell me about this Mike McClain guy. Who is he? What and how does he work? And how does that work?
Mike McClain illustrates how Madigan operates and is an example of, how he has been able to accumulate all that power during all those years. McClain and Madigan started out together. Both were elected in 1972, so they were young state reps. Think about 1972, Maze. That's how long ago that was. And
I was one.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Yeah. So you didn't catch it on the news,
right?
But and so they started out young state lawmakers together, and
they went to go see The Godfather together, guys. They both were like, "Did you see this? We could do that." But go ahead.
No, but you joke about that, but you have to. The Godfather came out right about that time.
I'm telling you.
Right. Look, I fell in love with Patty. I married Patty, and I married into a family with a ward boss of my own. I got a mini Godfather, and my father-in-law, Mel. He's one of them, too. And they all love that movie. No, you're right about that, right? Now, Madigan's more quiet. He doesn't talk about that. But your analogy is really perfect. And a lot of it has to do with how the hierarchy of the Catholic Church, believe it or not. You got the bishop, you get the cardinal, and it goes on down. Mm-hmm. That's how the Democratic political organization in the old days was structured. Mike Madigan, a young Mike Madigan, was a disciple and a student of the first mayor Daley, Richard J. Daley, the ultimate political boss, right? He was hardworking, very disciplined. He made a decision early on in his life that he wasn't going to be down in Springfield partying and sleeping around with some of the lobbyists.
Look at you stepping up.
Which is very common down there.
Amen.
Very common down there. Madigan decided to be Spartan in his lifestyle and figured, I'll outwork all these other party guys, these party animals, and I'll become, this all-powerful guy.
The Don!
Yeah, he'll become the Don. That's right. I think he made that decision early on. And McClain was one of the guys that he got very friendly with. And McClain, he comes from the Quincy area, right, on the Mississippi River, southwest Illinois. And so along the way, the two of them developed a close relationship. McClain's one of several of these alumni of the state legislature who served with Madigan, and they all went into the private sector as lobbyists, while Madigan stayed as the center, who controlled everything in the middle, the Don, with the power of government. And all of them, over time, would do business, get clients. They'd attract clients, big clients like Commonwealth Edison McClain got, because everybody knew he was Madigan's guy. And if you want to get something done, you want to jack up utility rates on everyday people, make it cost more every time you turn your light switch on, to put the lights on, you got to get Madigan to do it. And go get his people who work and get paid a lot of money by these big utility companies and other special interests, and hire them. They'll go to Madigan, and Madigan will take care of them because it'll make those guys wealthier. They'll have more money to contribute to Madigan. They'll have more influence and power to help Madigan. And over time, doing that every day, every week, every month, every season, every year for 43 years, you become a very, very powerful person.
How about Rich?
Multi-millionaire. His daughter works for Kirkland & Ellis, a major law firm. They hired Lisa Madigan. They should take a look at her, by the way, because there she is at Kirkland & Ellis. Take a look at all the business that law firm got over the years through Madigan and state government. And these law firms, these big downtown law firms, are all tied in to state government. John Cullerton, the Senate president, was a lobbyist at the same time. He was the Senate president. In other words, he could lobby himself as the state Senate president. This is unbelievable. Now, it's legal because they make the rules. They do blatantly corrupt things that enrich themselves. But it's legal because they pass the laws to make it so they can do it. And
hold on, let me tell you
this.
Getting screwed. One of my favorite statements is, wealth is legislated. Wealth is legislated. If you write the rules for yourself, Then you write the rules to say what I am doing is not illegal. When you looked at, if you looked in this, if you read the indictment, it was interesting because there was one moment when, and this was well known, where you get a call from your lobbyist like, hey, they're going to pass a bill that could really impact you forever, or really, no, well, I think they told ComEd that the Illinois Commerce Commission was going to pass a law that would make it difficult for them to raise rates. And then when they hired the right people, then that bill went away. Let me ask a question. How much of what Mike Madigan did from your perspective was criminal from an Illinois perspective? And then I want you to answer that from the perspective of how they treated you. Let me back up. Compare this indictment to, and what they're accusing him of, which, again, it seemed to me he said this is basically political horse trading that I'm doing, which seemed to be the same defense that you had, but there was no economics with yours. Explain to me. I want to know how criminal was what he did, and then I want you to talk to me about it from the Illinois way, how criminal was it, and then from how you got treated, how criminal was it? Talk to me.
Yes, great question. The fundamental difference is I was sent to prison for political horse trading, wheeling and dealing. It started when President-elect Obama sent an emissary to me to make a political deal on the Senate seat.
Wait, back up. What you say that? Explain to me this whole emissary thing, because let me back up. The emissary thing becomes that much more visible, understandable, because I would say that the emissary, what's the purpose of the emissary, first of all?
It's a couple of purposes. Number one is, if one political figure, in that case President-elect Obama, would like to communicate and have a conversation with another, in that case it was me, the governor at the time, sometimes you'd like to send a mutual friend, someone who knows both of us, who you'd like, both people like, and kind of trust, to kind of convey a message and to maybe probe and see whether or not there might be some interest in talking about stuff.
Okay.
All perfectly legal, all perfectly routine and smart. So he sent this labor leader to me, Tom Balanoff, election night, Millennium Park.
Same night.
Magical night, 500,000 people
and we was
there.
out there slaying, crying, all that shit.
Yes, of course, right. Black America, that was one of the great events in American history. I mean, Obama was, Joe Louis. He was Joe Louis. He was Jackie Robinson.
And he sang Amazing Grace to Dylan Roof killing. But that's okay. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
So that night before he gave his speech, we're all backstage, the dignitaries. I was the governor. Balanoff, the labor guy, comes up to me and said, Barack called me last night. He wants to see if I can come and see you and talk to you about Valerie Jarrett for the United States Senate and see what you want. In other words, a political deal. Now, Obama did nothing wrong. That's legal. That's how it works. That's the point I want to make. When you horse trade and wheel and deal, Mays, that's politics in good government if the purpose of the wheeling and dealing is to do good things for the people. The difference is Madigan's just the opposite. All of his horse trading and wheeling and dealing, and he's a master of this, and a master backroom political operator. His wheeling and dealing isn't to help the people. It's to help himself and his friends financially and in the accumulation of power. And the power is not being used to advance the cause of people. It's being used to make all those people rich. That's where you get into the area, I believe, when it becomes criminal. When you misuse your power in government to get rich, to enrich yourself, criminal. That's where Madigan is. Me, just the opposite, trying to get things done for people and discuss possibilities so we can get those things done. And my problem, I believe truly that among the reasons why what happened to me was that I wouldn't play ball with Madigan. And I fought him because I felt, who elected you? Frankly, who even knows who you are? You're this little guy from the southwest side of Chicago. You've been there for 1,000 years. You're an old school guy. You're all about your political empire and your friends and getting them all rich. but nobody knows you. And you do it in the back room, which gives you immunity. And you got connections, and your tentacles are everywhere, including back then in the U.S. Attorney's Office, because Madigan's law partner is the husband of a federal judge, Susan Getzendanner.
Wait, what?
Yeah. Right?
Oh, the devil is so busy around here. See, this is why I be getting in trouble. Now, and let me back up. Because there's going to be somewhere in the universe where someone is going to say, talking to you doesn't help me. Right? And then I'm going to say, so talking to, but defending Madigan and the Goon Squad helps us how? It's amazing to me it seemed like when there was an opportunity for everybody to plunge the knife, they took the opportunity to plunge the knife in you. Mm-hmm. Do you think that people will plunge the knife in Madigan, or are they fearful that the wizard still can wizard them? Mm-hmm. Because everybody. See, so I'm really trying to figure out the Madigan myth now, because it's like when you read the indictment, it's like when you talk to people in the world, they be like, this dude is the smartest dude in the whole entire world. He never had a cell phone. Fool, he had a cell phone.
Sure he did.
He never sent the email. Nah, he sent the email. He never talks because he thinks somebody's on a wire. He even agreed to quid pro quo. So now I'm trying to understand, is this guy as smart as he is, or did he just was he able to make this stuff scalable over the course of time? And now, are we still going to have to live under this myth of the boogeyman could still get me? What can he do now?
That's a good question. You know what? I think none of us are all that, right? I
Speak for yourself. I'm all that. No, I'm just like, go ahead.
Only God is, all that.
Okay.
And the rest of us are less than that.
I'll give you that.
Some are more than others. I'm not denying Madigan's skill. He's a very smart guy. He's a hard worker. He's a crafty, clever guy. And he's liberated in the sense that he doesn't really have a conscience. So he's not driven. No, he doesn't. He's a ruthless guy. And he's not driven by any sense of any purpose to help people, everyday people.
Really? You don't think so?
No, absolutely not. Everything's a tool for his advancement politically and financially. And that's the empire that he built down there. And everybody around him are connected to that and dependent on that. Even the state lawmakers. One of the reasons why that system is so corrupt in Springfield is it's all about these lawmakers getting their pensions. A lot of them have more than one pension. A lot of them have more than one government job. And most of them have other jobs. A lot of the lawmakers have other members of their family getting contracts and all kinds of other things. And they're connected to, that government. And the person who gets that for them is Madigan. And so when Madigan says, I need you to vote for this, even though it's going to cost more money for the taxpayers, another tax increase, or utility rates that hurt poor people, they do it because they got to do it. They got to, quote unquote, make the speaker happy. And they almost whisper when they say his name, the speaker. You know what I mean? It's maddening. Now, maybe I got my ass kicked in life because when I was down there and I felt I was the governor, nobody elected him, and I got elected, and I was the instrument of the people, I didn't treat him with that kind of respect. Maybe
right, you didn't go to Saputo's and be like, he saw me.
Right. In fact, I would publicly call him out on stuff and sometimes call him names. Maybe I shouldn't have done that.
Did you say that's the veracity? What was it, the testicular?
Testicular virility.
The testicular virility. You really got him with that one, man. I was like, are you saying he's got little nuts? I'm sorry.
Some of that stuff was probably immature on my part, but it was sickening to me that you go down there and everybody was bowing down to this guy. And he wasn't about helping the public. He was about all himself, as we talked about. And I was hired by the people to fight for them. So, look, one of the reasons why they were quick to throw me out when they had the opportunity, and that came when I was arrested, unprecedented arrest. Notice they didn't arrest me.
Hey, what's up with that, dog?
Right.
Like I'm saying, straight up, like nobody comes. So back up. What was the difference? I felt like this was so anticlimactic. Like the picture we get is him sitting in the red car. Like that's what we get. Like for 50 years, that's all we get. No perp walk, no pictures, no walking out the federal courtroom. Hey, Mr. Speaker, none of that. No. Come on, dog. What? How does that work?
I think this
is at that $2 million a quarter though. He do spend like $2.5 million every 3 months defending himself. How long you think he can run that tab? But go ahead. Why did he get why didn't he have to walk the gauntlet?
Well, two things. I think this U.S. attorney, Mr. Lausch, seems to be a lot more professional and have a lot more integrity than his predecessor, Fitzgerald. That guy was a lying, dishonest MFer. Okay?
Really?
Fitzgerald. Nobody arrests a sitting governor at 6 o'clock in the morning with SWAT teams around his house. Unless you're trying to create a dynamic that turns the public against him. And then he gets out there and lies and says Lincoln would roll over in his grave and, while I'm locked up. You follow me? I laugh now, but back then, man, right? And they did it all by design to break my will to resist because they knew they had no crimes and they figured I'd cut my losses. And they created a political dynamic and a media firestorm that it was too good of a story to not pursue. I thought the whole thing was preposterous. No one's got to believe I was stupid enough to try to sell the Senate seat. How do you get away with something like that, right? But I was shocked that people were buying this baloney. And so it was done for many reasons, that prosecutor Fitzgerald. Very unethical, very dishonest, a liar. This other guy seems to be real professional. He's handling the Madigan thing in a professional way. Because it would be wrong to go to his house and arrest him because you prejudice the public against him. Because at some point, the people are going to sit in the jury and they have to decide and give a guy a fair trial.
Dog, you making me... Look, man.
Go ahead.
Hey, see how you around here trying to be fair? As unfair as they were to you, why are you around here trying to... I just wanted to see for all the brothers that have ever had to take the purple.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm just saying, so if you influence the public, give him a little bit of what he got.
Well,
I'm just saying, man. We couldn't get the... That's like my... Mr. Madigan.
But you only arrest somebody for two reasons. One, he or she is a threat to the community. They might hurt somebody. And Madigan... He's not going to physically hurt anybody. He's just a little tiny little guy. Okay?
That's so crazy to me.
Right? And the other part is that person's a risk to run away. So I'm the governor. I'm not going to run away, and I'm not going to hurt anybody. But they came and did that to me for political reasons. It was also to create the environment so that all those people in politics did to me, which is what they did, and they all ran away, including my supporters and my friends in the legislature. They all had no choice, really, but to vote to throw me out because of the political dynamic that was created by that press conference. And among the other reasons why was a desire by many of the lawmakers to get rid of me was because I had been pushing legislation to end ghost payrolling, double dipping, multiple pensions for state lawmakers, contracts for family members of state lawmakers. I did an executive order that banned my family from doing any business with the state of Illinois.
That's where you went wrong.
You're right. And I couldn't
let me tell you.
That's right.
Right there, bro.
Right.
That's where you went wrong. If you would have just left, hey man, I know your father-in-law, bro.
Yeah.
Hey man, you should have just left it. Let me just tell you, if I was you, this is hindsight 2020. Get a man the landfill, dog. Just give him the landfill. You give him the landfill. We get free mammograms. We ride in the buses for free. Sometimes, man, you got to take one for the team, brother. Because, see, it was like you were on this path of doing all of this good stuff. Can I tell you something? So, I would say I kind of rose to political prominence after you were, when Pat Quinn, so I became Pat Quinn's statewide field director for his election after you were impeached. And I think about, then I became a lobbyist. And that was when I was, because, we used to come down to Springfield for Democrat Day and we kind of come in and get out. Nobody knew. And then I became a lobbyist and I was like, holy shit. Like all the people that we would see on these campaigns that would come and show up with their little cup of Starbucks and their 3/4 zip fleece and they'd walk around and tell all the black people what to do. I never knew what the hell they did. Like I'd be like, who is this dude that is over here like looking? Don't ask me no questions. You don't know me. But then I never knew where they were. Because like for us, when we won campaigns, it was like you got 2 days off. You might get a bonus. And then it was back to the field. So when I got graduated and I came down to Springfield, I'm like, holy moly. These guys are eating steak in Springfield? steak and lobster and I realized that there was a whole different universe that existed in Springfield. And I was thinking about the fact that they bring you down to Springfield to keep you isolated from the rest of the real world. Like there's nowhere for you to escape to. And then once you're there, you're applied with all of the lobbyists and and it's like you just go with it. And the next thing you know, you look up and you say, damn, I'm part of the problem, not part of the solution.
Well said. Well said. That's how it happens. They buy you off down there.
Let me ask a question.
Yeah.
So let's just pretend this guy gets this. So tell me what's next. Back up. So you've been in this process. So he just didn't get. So now he is indicted. Now is this going to be another 6 years before he goes to court? Or what do we look like now? Like, give me a sense of kind of what this process was once they had the press conference or once, because you came home the same day, right?
Yes.
They didn't make you spend the night or nothing.
No, they didn't. They I think I came home around 4:00 in the afternoon. I was arrested at 6
a.m.
6 a.m.
And
Yeah.
what they do to you all that time?
They handcuffed me.
They had you in cuffs?
Yeah.
That's crazy, dog. That's kind of crazy, Joe.
It was all designed to to make you feel like
control the narrative.
Yeah, and to basically say, hey man, you're a dead man. Don't ever fight back. Tell us what we want to hear. We'll go easy on you. That's what it was. They sat me down in the beginning. It was the good cop, bad cop. I think some of your listeners might know about this. Because, boy, I tell you, there are some bad cops. There's no question about it. Okay? Now, I believe that we need to have police, and I think we have to be smart about having police and keep our neighborhoods safe and all the rest. But there's some dishonest cops. There's bad people everywhere. And there's some who are prosecutors and cops. But they had me there, and they were doing good cop, bad cop, and they were saying, you're just a product of Chicago politics, and we think you can help us. They wanted me to talk about people. Now, I want to say this to your listeners. I'm the governor of Illinois. The way it works, Mace, just like McLean is going up to Madigan, just like Mapes is going up to Madigan. By the way, these guys are not Frankie Pantangeli. Neither one of these guys are going to slip their wrist for Madigan.
You don't think so?
No.
You don't think
No.
Come on, man. You messing up the myth, man. I'm telling you now, everybody is around. I mean, first of all, every Madigan myth that we know is being deflowered right now. Again, so I wouldn't be surprised if McLean doesn't sit in the tub. I wouldn't be surprised if McLean doesn't start speaking or squawking, because at some point somebody says, okay, I'm never going to see my grandkids again. And I just got a grandkid,
right.
So I'm seeing them. So
right.
Sorry, I'm just letting y'all know, if y'all try to pull it on me, whoosh, I got to see Jersey. Go ahead.
Right, but the alternative is, hey, Frankie Pantangeli, Mike McLean, Tim Mapes, you don't have to slit your wrists. We'll give you a slap on the wrists. Just tell us what you want to know about Madigan. Just say certain things about Madigan. You won't even have to go away. We'll give you probation. Or we'll do to you what we did to Blagojevich's chief of staff, who pled guilty to a non-existent crime. We'll give you 10 days. We'll give Blagojevich 14 years. We'll give you 10 days. That's what they gave John Harris. 10 days to lie on himself. He didn't break a law either. Okay? But he got off easy. 10 days.
And he got,
okay.
And then one of the Madigan lawyers hooked him up. I'm going to let that go, though.
Yeah. So anyway, so what happened is, so these guys are not going to, fall on the sword for Madigan now that Madigan no longer has power, can't do anything for them, can't hurt them. Okay? They're going to look at their families. They're both guys in their 70s. They're going to say, am I going away for 10, 15 years because of that guy? With all due respect, Mike, I got no choice. I've got grandkids. That's what's going to happen. Now, what? That's good. I know this from my own personal experience. It's a bad place to be.
Feds ain't no joke. Okay,
but
so
see, that's what they wanted me to do.
No, you're the governor of Illinois. Who could you tell on, dog? It ain't nobody left to tell on. Was you gonna tell on Madigan?
That's my point. You see, I'm the governor. What am I going to talk about? Aldermen, state lawmakers, Madigan? They weren't asking about that. U.S. senators? I'm higher than a U.S. senator. There's 50 governors. There's 100 U.S. senators. Only one guy higher than a governor. Who might that be?
Oh, they wanted to know about that conversation.
They wanted to know about Obama. Obama and I had a relationship with a guy named Tony Resco. Resco was helpful to both of us. Resco did wrong things. And Resco was getting squeezed by them to talk about Obama and me. Resco wouldn't do it. He sent a letter to a federal sentencing judge, front page news, Chicago Tribune. They grudgingly put it on because that paper sucks. Sorry for the listeners. But they put it in there. Resco said, after he was convicted, to the sentencing judge, the prosecutors are trying to make me say things about Governor Blagojevich and Senator Obama. He wasn't president-elect yet, so he put me first. I didn't do anything wrong with either one of those guys. I'm not going to lie about either one of these guys to save myself. Because that was the big fear we both had, that he might lie because they would try to offer him something easy to say what they wanted him to say about both of us. And he wouldn't do it. So when they had me, that's the way I interpreted it. It wasn't about somebody lower than me. They wanted somebody higher, one guy, Obama. And I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't talk about me or him. I didn't do anything wrong. As far as I know, nobody that I had dealings with did anything wrong.
I forgot about Tony Resco.
Remember that?
Damn, I forgot all about the crib.
Yeah.
Bought the house.
For Obama.
Damn,
Right.
I forgot all about. So let me just say this. Tony Resco never tricked. And he finally made it back to the crib.
Right.
Dang, Obama could have pardoned him.
Right. Obama.
Damn, Joe.
Resco
Like,
didn't
he did not crack. And they said.
He did not.
I heard he went to I heard they was putting it on him too.
They were.
I heard they was giving it to him. Like, for real. Like, he was not in a happy place at all. Governor Blagojevich, so now what happened? So after you get all your friends start backing out, tell me about the process. How do you get to court? And how much does this cost? And does he have the money to pay for this?
Yeah, he's got the money. He's a multimillionaire.
Yeah, but he's at a $2 million a quarter burn rate.
Yeah. He'll work something out with his lawyers, see how long it goes. Now, in my case, remember, they didn't convict me the first trial. They tried me a second time. What? Wait a minute. You mean you can't convict me the first trial? What?
Oh, we're going to get you.
I should go home now, right? So they tried me a second time, and then they used an unlawful standard. They moved the line, and that's how they got the convictions on legal stuff. Just so your listeners know, the sale of the Senate seat, I'm known for that, right? Known for that. And this is effing gold. I'm not giving it up for nothing. I wish I was known for free public transportation for all of our seniors and the disabled, which I did, for the All Kids program that saved lives.
Now, Governor, though, I do remember listening to the tape.
Yeah.
You did seem a little bit frustrated. Seemed like you were ready to get out of the governor's spot. Like, damn, I know this feeling too, Governor. I'm going to be honest with you. I've been in a space where you done helped everybody.
Right.
And then everybody else is like, pew, pew. They taking off. And you like, dog, I helped you. Y'all ain't even holler at me? You're not even call me back. You're not going to even be like, hey, Joe, once I get here, I got you. It seemed like you were a bit frustrated on this in the process.
Right. You hear those tapes. You hear some of those tapes they played. By the way, they only played a handful of them.
You got them all. I want to hear the good parts, but go ahead.
Yeah,
I want to hear some more JB because I still want to hear. I still want to understand how you and JB got to it. Let me ask you a question.
JB said when I told him I want to pick a black person for the U.S. Senate, he said, "Oh, I understand your political problem.
You got that? Get it.
Yeah.
Get it. Get my clip. Play it.
Right.
Bring it up. Hold on. Give him a clip. You ready? Come on, because we got to play it. Because Governor, this is one of our favorite clips. And I really want, because all I could think of is you and JB, and I see JB, Sunday morning, JB probably on the couch in his drawers, you know what I'm saying, sitting around watching TV, eating some popcorn.
Eating a salami sandwich, about 5 of them.
and so y'all talking about this, now, how close were you and JB?
I had a good relationship with JB. JB asked me to make him the director of the Illinois Human Rights Commission, and I did. As far as I know, I did a good job.
How much did that job pay? Well, he didn't care because you saw the speaker was going to trade some of these jobs for pay or whatever. But
JB gave Madigan $7.2 million. Pritzker gave Madigan $7 million. You understand? Okay. Because he spent $170 million of his own money to make himself governor. If I was truly interested in selling the Senate seat, isn't he the guy? Don't I go to JB? Because he wanted to be a senator. He called me and asked me. And then when I told him that was not likely, he asked me if I'd make him state treasurer. This guy was in the market to buy an office. You hear me? Okay? Now, I wasn't doing that. But if I was interested in doing it, that's the guy, right? Because nobody can pay as much as he could.
Riis, roll the tape. Roll the tape. Go ahead. The least offensive. You making me look bad, man. Get the least offensive and play the clip.
Sort of like qualified and vetted, and people will say, "Oh, that's a pretty good pick." The one that is least offensive and maybe gets you the most because it gets you that Secretary of State appointment is Jesse West.
What was that conversation all about?
I had a hard time hearing that. What was he just saying there?
Play it again. Turn it up, Riis, and make sure his headphones are up. This is about the least offensive.
Of all the African Americans I can think that are sort of like qualified and vetted, and people will say, "Oh, that's a pretty good pick." The one that is least offensive and maybe gets you the most because it gets you that Secretary of State appointment is Jesse West.
Did you get that? You couldn't hear it. That is JB talking about the least offensive. It was the least offensive quote, and you guys. What was that conversation about?
So he called me up and asked me whether or not I'd be willing to make him a United States Senator. And he explained he's pro-business. I don't have any political baggage. I don't have bad votes, on and on. And I listened politely because I liked him. I told him, look, I'm looking at, I'm far away from having made a final decision, but my preference is I want to appoint a black person to the Senate because Obama was our first black president. He's leaving the Senate, which means after he leaves, there's no black senators at that time.
So that was a political calculation of yours. You felt like you needed to put a black senator in that place.
Well, there was an element of politics there, but that wasn't the only reason. I've always had an affinity for the black community. How can you have a black president and no black senators? And if I could find the right person, my hope was to find someone out of politics who was new. I had John Harris. Find me someone with a military background who's black, who nobody even knows. We talked about Oprah Winfrey for a couple of days. I was thinking about all kinds of options. I ultimately sent Roland Burris there, and I take great pride in the fact that you're looking at a guy here, right? The only governor in American history up to that time who ever appointed a black person to the United States Senate. I was the first one. After I did it, 2 others did it. But I was like cool before the rest of them. I'm the first one in post-Reconstruction era.
So
I put Roland Burris there. But JB, when I explained to him that it was unlikely that I could make him senator because my preference was to choose someone who was black, he referred to that as, I understand your black problem. That's what he said, problem, which I think reveals something about his heart. How's that a problem? You follow me? That's how he looked at it. It's almost like a racist statement if you think about it. But, I'll leave it for others to judge whether that's racist or not. But I remember him saying that. I remember wincing when he said it. But I told him what I was thinking. He then said, well, what about state treasurer? And he talked about his business credentials. And that one, I said, I could see you there. Right? I mean, you inherited all that money. I didn't say that. You didn't make it.
Right. Will you deposit those accounts in Illinois? If you can get them from offshores and put them in Illinois, we'd be all good.
Yeah, I mean, he was born with a silver ladle in his mouth. I told you that before, right?
Ladle.
Right?
That's big. Go ahead.
Yeah, but he knows about, well, I don't know if he probably knows because he got all those billions from the Hyatt Hotel fortune that he didn't earn. I keep saying that because he didn't. And so the treasurer thing made sense. That one I said was possible. But I told him the Senate was highly unlikely.
Okay. So looking at what you got.
When you say what I got, what do you mean?
14 years.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Knowing what we've got, Madigan, what they're charging Madigan. Innocent until proven guilty. But
yes.
Proven guilty.
Yep.
3 years, 2 years? How much should he get?
How much should he get or what will he get?
Well, how much should he get based on what you got? And then what do you think he will get?
Well, I never, I keep saying this, but I want your listeners to know, man, I didn't break a law across the line, and I didn't take a penny. No one even said
That's
that.
my point.
I got to say that. I didn't take a penny. Okay? Part of the reason I got 14 years, and I was told this from the beginning, is because I was fighting back. You see, these people are like schoolyard bullies. They got all that power, and they expect you, when they arrest you like that, to just kiss their you-know-what and just back down. And I was determined to fight them every step of the way because I didn't do a thing wrong.
Even if it meant 14 years?
They were stealing me from the people. They were stealing me. I was elected by the people. People don't like me, vote me out. But they were stealing me. Nobody elected those uncontrolled, bad cop prosecutors. Okay? People voted for me. You got me taking money in a brown paper bag, of course, indict me and arrest me and put me in prison. Right? But no one even said that. These were political conversations. So no way can I possibly give in, and I'm innocent. So what does an innocent person do? You get out there, don't you? You try to climb the highest roof and shout to everybody, I didn't do it. Now,
when you say it's 14 years or you can go home in 2, you say, okay, I did it.
Wait, they dangled 18 months after they failed to convict me on the first trial. 18 months.
Dog, you 18 months. You supposed to be like, I take that. You supposed to be like, I take that.
You saw that.
Riis, is he supposed to take the 18 months? Riis, is he supposed to take the 18 months? If you beat 20 years and they come back at you, ain't you supposed to take the 18 months? You supposed to take that. You go ahead and say it on the mic. Tell them, we got to get you into Black Logic, man. They was treating you like a brother in this case.
Yeah, like a brother.
So understand,
That's why I love the brothers, man. I feel myself like I'm a brother. That's why I said that stupid thing, I'm blacker than Obama. Remember I said that?
Right.
I apologize for that. You can't say that. A white guy can't say that.
Right.
And I was wrong to say that. But the point was, I'm being treated. They're treating me that way. Okay? And that's in that context, that was part of the context I said that.
This is why you got to get some brothers in your corner.
Yeah.
Right? Because if they was coming back for you, after you beat the first one and they said, we going to try it again,
right.
They like, oh, we slamming you. We're going to slam you. And I would have told you, I would have been like, what's the high end of this? Rod, if they give you 18 months, dog, Riis, what he got to do?
You probably would have did like 12.
Yeah, 9, you could have been home. Fed is 85% of the time.
Yeah. No, if Trump didn't do what he did, I'm still there till May of 2024. May of 2024. Now, you ask me why I love Trump?
18 months, dog. You got to take the 18 months, Joe. I'm just telling you. For your kids, you got to take the 18 months, right? Okay. Like, you got sometimes you got to swallow your pride as dad. But okay, but I'm going to tell you, you stood on it. But you stood on it. And I'm going to give you the props for standing on it. But, bro, if I know they came back at me after 18 months is gone, Mark is giving me the clock look like you got to get out of it.
No hurry.
Okay.
I'm dying to answer this.
Okay, go ahead.
Can I?
Yes, you can.
Okay. I'm going to go back to that Hulu documentary that you talked about. Okay. You talked about Patty, how great she is.
Yes. Shout out to Patty Blagojevich.
Oh, man.
One more time. Shout out to, I tell you, boy, it's a lot of brothers out here be like, man, Rod.
Yeah.
They can tell you some stories. She is the truth. She hung in there with you. A lot of brothers wouldn't have made it that long. Okay, talk to me. How long should he get based on what you know and you didn't do it?
Let me finish my answer.
Go ahead.
You got Patty on that Hulu documentary, that last episode. She and I in her backyard. We're talking about me, whether I ever run for office again. You catch that? Remember that?
Yeah, I definitely do.
And you see her on the park bench earlier in one of the other episodes being interviewed by them. I mean, maybe I see it because I know her and I love her and I've been with her for so long. But there's resentment. Patty has certain resentments towards me. You know, these are the things maybe you don't want to talk about too publicly. But she has some. And it's that, what you just talked about. Well, how come you didn't take the 18 months? Why are you fighting them so bad? Why did your pride take hold of you? Why didn't you cut your losses? Because our children suffered, our little girls. And their dad could have been home, and I could have been there for their birthday parties and for their graduations and the things that I missed. So my wife, who's a loving mother and puts the kids first, God bless her, because that's one of the best things about her is she loves our kids more than she loves me, okay? I wouldn't have it any other way. But so there's elements of resentment that to this day she still has because of the decision that I made that I would never compromise, that I was going to fight, that I was going to go down fighting, and that I knew that if I did lose, you know, and that was, you figured these guys have so much power, you know you're going down deep
Risk
down.
it all. You know they call it that phrase, you're going to risk it all.
Yeah. And you go down fighting because at least then you can live with yourself. If I was a businessman, Mays, I cut my losses. If I, was a drug dealer and they're saying they're putting ghost dope on me, but they can't prove the case, I cut my losses because I'm in that business. I did it. But I'm the governor. I didn't do what they said I did because if I did it, you take your law, you acknowledge it, responsibility. But they're stealing me from the people on stuff that's legal. I was elected by the people to fight for them, to represent them. I swore on the Holy Bible, twice Mays, to serve and protect the Constitution, the rule of law. I would have given all of that up if I gave in and just said what they wanted me to say. I'd have limped home after 18 months, and right now I'd be a drunk, and I would be no good to my family. As it is, it was a long, hard journey, and as is written in Scripture, the story of Joseph, what they meant for evil, God meant for good. I truly believe I'll be able to do good stuff. I'm working on a documentary on crime in Chicago that we're going to start pre-production in 2 weeks. Really excited about the work that we can do to really talk about the issue of crime in Chicago and the complications on the issues, the distrust between the police and the black community back and forth. So I think what they meant for evil, God meant for good. I wouldn't be in this place right now if I just gave in. I'd be a drunk.
It's funny that you say that, Governor, because many times I feel like some parallel. God help us, we don't have the exact same parallel, but I think about my wife, right, who is an elected official who probably could be like, dang, dog, why do you do this? And you know I'm in the business, and you get up here and you make it very difficult for me, but she always supports me. And that's kind of how I see Patty, right? And so they love us for the same thing that can probably be a problem is part of the same reason that they love us, because of our indomitable spirits to fight and not to just lay down. And so for every bit of, like, really, did you have to, I got to go in front of the Democratic Party today to get slated? Did you really have to talk about Queen Sugar today, right? Did you really have to go take a picture with somebody who has MF'd the party? Right? Never. She is always like, man, all right, this is the fight that you've chosen. This is the person that I'm with through good and bad, through rich or through poor, through sickness and in health. And that's what I see with Patty for you. And that's why I kind of empathize. And I think that's why just watching that documentary, like, there are many days I'm sure that my wife could be resentful because of these conversations, because of this, because even as she tries to make her way, people try to make her pay because of me. And she like, damn, do I got to wear this burden because you decided that you wanted to be a black freedom fighter all of a sudden with a mic that now everybody listens? You still didn't tell me, though. How much time does he get? How much, if not vindictive, but based on what you know about what happened to you, comparatively, and then, shoot, you only had 3 years. Well, I mean, no, you had 7.
Oh, no. I had 1 month short of 8. Here, I'll say I had 2,896 days. Not like I was counting or anything.
You can do that math when you're in the joint.
896 days, right?
Multiply his, though, times 40.
Look, if he's found guilty and he's presumed innocent, but knowing him and how it operates down in Springfield and how the people got screwed by Madigan, we're the highest tax state in the nation. So many more good things can happen for people, poor people, and people who are struggling. If the public trusted government more, it's a corruption tax that the people suffer, because people who are well-intentioned, who don't mind seeing their tax money go to help others who need help, don't trust it's going there. So there's so many consequences as a result of that kind of corruption. So if you look at it from that point of view, he's looking at a long, long time. If he gets convicted and he's presumed innocent, he's almost 80. What is he, 78 or something?
Yeah.
So I think they'll take that into account. I hope. Look, I don't like the guy. I think he had a hand in what happened to me. He threatened me privately way before I got arrested. He tried to impeach me. He began the impeachment process 10 months before I got arrested. I have evidence to suggest he and Fitzgerald, a dishonest prosecutor, were colluding to do to me what they did. I believe all of that. But I don't want to, and I don't like him. But I don't want to see this guy get buried and die in prison. I don't want to see that. I want to see, hopefully, a fair trial and the right thing happens. And I have strong suspicion on what the right thing is without knowing all the evidence. And then I think justice must always be tempered with mercy. And one of the reasons why there's so many grievances in the black community, there's so much anger in the black community towards the system in America, the criminal justice system is a broken system. It's a racist system that disproportionately punishes black people with these unbelievable sentences. They give them no chance at a second chance. It's very real. I lived that. And because they do it to some people, I just think everybody should have a chance at justice that's tempered with mercy. And
how much mercy did he get you?
None. Absolutely none. No, and he just...
So do you want him to have 20% mercy? Do you want to have 90% mercy? What kind of mercy do you want him to have? Like, let me ask a question.
Well, the Bible teaches us vengeance is mine. That's what God says.
Right. That's what you tell the judge. You ain't got to vote, but if you just was, if they was listening, and you look, how long do you have to go to feel it? Like,
feel what?
To feel damn, what have I gotten myself into? Like the first night. But like, how long does it? So at least he could. See, I feel like this, man. You got to understand. This dude walked up to me literally, like, "What are you doing in my town?" Like, I feel like if this would have been 1930, that would have been pretty laced with a whole bunch of other stuff. My question is, Governor, how long? So if you tempered him with mercy, let's say your sentence was 14 years, and that was not tempered with mercy.
The other thing that has to be taken into account is set an example to prevent this sort of stuff from happening.
That's what I'm talking about.
That's what serves
that's what the public need to know.
Right.
So what kind of example makes every legislator, everybody be like, shit. I don't want no, but look, excuse me, what? Nah,
yeah, right.
I want him to be like, shit. It's after 8:00, so we're not talking to the Saints no more.
Look, I'm not going to speculate on what the time might be. I'll leave that to the judge if he gets to that point. But I'll say this: those factors we just talked about, including that shit part, that factor is going to weigh heavily if the judge is doing his job or her job. That's a factor. That's a legitimate factor.
10 years,
and that has to be decades, of course, because what they're alleging is a criminal enterprise.
That's the mob, Joe. Like I mean, this is like if we would have got the Gambinos, that was that. The only thing we don't have, and I bet you if you go far enough, you probably could find that too. The only thing we don't got in this is murder. That's the only thing that's a Godfather, and we don't know if there's gonna be we do not know as of yet. And actually, even in the Godfather, I think we missing a body now. Somebody didn't come back. Somebody either took the federal plan to. What happened to the big senator?
Which one?
I'm telling you. I'm telling you, Godfather stuff was going on around here.
Oh, the senator of Nevada.
No, the senator from here that never made it to testimony.
Sandoval.
I'm just telling you.
Yeah, I know him.
I'm just telling you, man.
Yeah, right.
I think that there is way more to come. I think for them, the best thing to do, if I was the speaker, I would just jump on my sword now, because if they start unpeeling this from every major corporation, you see they've already started at AT&T, right? You start at AT&T, you look at the names at AT&T. At some point, maybe he's going to have to be the person that gets in the bathtub, right? Because the speaker it may not be Mike McClain, right? It may be the speaker that needs to get in the bathtub to protect the whole family and the whole enterprise. Because quiet as it's kept, you touched on some other things that I feel like the feds, they know your soft spots. And he got a few soft spots out there still that exist. And so I'm just curious to see how this thing turns out. Governor, did you feel was there any irony in this situation to you?
Very much.
Tell me about that. Just tell me about the irony of this situation for you, like, as you are out, like, and I gotta say, like, let me just say this. What would have happened if y'all, like, let's just say you didn't get out. And let's just say, open up 6!
Oh, Madigan and I are roommates?
And you come down there and you see him in the shower.
If Madigan and I are in the same cell together, Maze?
Not even a cell. You on the same deck, you on the same block. You been there.
Yeah.
You've been there, and you are on the welcoming committee. What happens, Governor?
Well, let me say, if we're in the same cell, I'm making him take the top bunk. I got seniority here, man, unlike you back there.
Is he washing underwear?
Yeah, he's a meticulous guy. He's probably
is he washing your underwear?
Look, one thing he's not is he's a tough little sinister, cynical, sneaky little guy.
Okay,
but he ain't physically tough.
Right.
So when he goes into that, if he ends up going into a place like I was in, it ain't going to be that easy for him. Like it wasn't easy for me either. But he won't adapt like I did.
My question is though, like, does a guy that old, go to a Like, does he have to go? Does he have to, like, have you ever seen the cattle call at, like, Stateville?
Yeah.
Like, does he have to go through that whole like, when okay, so the worst part of my experience, besides having to not go home, was the process of figuring out navigating the space. How does he go to did he go to a senior citizen joint, or did he got to talk to Bubba and them?
So if he gets a sentence of 10 years or more, he's got to go behind the razor wire, the barbed wire fence. That's the rule. That's what they did to me. That's part of the reason they gave me 14 years was to put me there. I spent my first 32 months in a real prison. Murderers in there. You follow me? It was all designed to break my will to resist and punish me for fighting back and all those things. So he ends up, again.
Even at 70?
Well, he's 78.
Right. Does he get the...
If he gets more than 10 years, he has to go there. He has to. Yeah. And that'll be taken into account. Look, he's innocent until proven guilty. I want to keep emphasizing
I'm with you on that.
But in the event that happens, he has to face the sentencing. What'll happen then is they'll take into account all of those things. His lawyers are going to argue he's 78 years old, and all of a sudden he's not going to be in good health. You watch.
He's going to be...
Right.
He's going to be rolling in with a blind. Right. He's going to have glasses on. He's going to
like Verdoliak, right? I mean, Verdoliak's health. I shouldn't joke because maybe it's not good health, but I think that you'll be seeing that. He's not in good health, blah, 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 and you can't put him in that higher security prison, so it can't be more than 10 years. They'll be arguing all of that stuff.
Does he plead?
I don't think so. I don't think so. He might. He's a practical guy. He might. I go say I don't think so, then I say he might. It's really hard to determine it depends on the strength of the case against them, the evidence that they have. I believe they must feel they have a real strong case. They wouldn't have gone this far to indict him like they did. And I do believe that, like I said, McClain and the others are not.
So you think they going? I'm telling you, man, you got to start reading Capitol Facts again. You know what would be hilarious?
Mm-hmm.
You know what would be hilarious?
Rich Miller, the mouthpiece, Madigan's mouthpiece.
If you commented on if you started commenting on Capitol Facts in the comments, because right now, I'm just telling you, the comments are hilarious, and it's like all the backtracking, I knew, and this was, I'd be like, hey, dog, when he told you to take a knife, I remember when y'all had the meetings and said, stab the black dude.
Right.
He say stab, y'all was like, the kill. Now everybody, man, please.
Let me tell you something else about Madigan, which is, I think, should be considered if he faces judgment and has to be sentenced. The squandered opportunity to really make life better for so many people. Things in the black community in Illinois could have been so much better if he used that power he had to do the things that I was trying to actually do. $1 billion of investment in low-income communities. We could have done so much more of that. And so much of the lack of opportunity in the black community, those things could have been solved. But here's the thing about Madigan. He's old school, but he's the biggest segregationist in Illinois history. This guy's a segregationist. I told you before he's a backroom bull conner.
No, I remember you said
the Democratic Party chairman of Illinois. The Democratic Party chairman of Illinois, the party that gets 90 to 95% of the black vote. Their top guy and the speaker is a Southern segregationist. Okay, we have Midway Airport expansion. You know what he told me one time? We're doing that to keep the blacks out of our neighborhood. Okay,
that's like they did Dan Ryan. He came from the old man.
I've told you he learned from Daley. And so they were pushing hard for federal funds and all kinds of stuff to expand Midway Airport. And he told me that. Keep black people out of our neighborhood. We've come a long way. I truly believe on race in America, but all you got to do is come to Chicago. We're two cities. I was with Pastor Brooks.
He was on the roof. I saw him.
Great man. I was on the roof. Great man. What he's doing with that community center, trying to raise money. I'm helping him. Give those kids a chance to get off the streets, stay out of the gangs. Go to a community center, learn vocational training, culinary skills, entrepreneurial skills. In other words, opportunity, something other than the gangs and drugs, a real life, chance to get ahead. But Chicago today, it's so stark to me. When I leave the north side where I live, and then I come to the south side like last night, 66th and King Drive, the difference is night and day. We're two cities, and it's wrong. And Madigan, for 40 years, had the power to really do something substantial. And he had a governor, when I was there, who was fighting him to get those things done that we did. We could have done everything. And Emil Jones, the three of us, the Democrats ran everything. And this is where I really resent him. Because that was all about cynical politics for him, when we could have really made things better for people. It made our city and our state a better place.
Hey, man, it is always a pleasure to have you here. I got one more question for you since you're a North Sider anyway. What's going on in the mayor's race, man? What you thinking? We saw Arnie Duncan jump out. What's your thoughts on Mayor Lori Lightfoot? Can she win again? And, I keep getting people saying, man, are you going to run? Are you going to run? I don't know that we get the law passed that allow you to run, because I'll bet you like this. I bet you right now if you ran, you get some votes. We need somebody. Governor, talk to me about what you think about what's going on in the city of Chicago. You were a big proponent of violence prevention when you were there. Ceasefire probably had its largest amount of funding. At that point, we've seen now violence prevention is they're spending so much money on it, but it seems to be getting worse in the city of Chicago. Give me your thoughts.
Public safety is the first duty of government. Here in Chicago, crime is out of control. Record number of murders, carjackings, now snatch and grab robberies. 75% of the murder victims are black. Here we go again. We had shootings in front of my house twice in the last 4 months. One as recent as 3 weeks ago. Guy just got out of the car, stumbled out, fell on the ground. Gangbangers shot him. Okay? We have gangbangers not far from where I live. Gang wars are going on. Gangbangers outnumber police 75-1. There's bad cops. I gave to 2,986 days in prison because of bad cops. I know what I'm talking about, and I know the black community knows there's bad cops, of course. Tremendous mistrust and distrust. But you got to have police. You got to have good police, and we need more police. I'd hire 10,000 more police, a lot of them from the community, almost all of them from the community, train them the right way, develop better community relations, and keep people safe. You can't have economic development in the south side of Chicago or the west side of Chicago if you don't have safe neighborhoods. The businesses won't go there, and they won't feel safe. It's understandable. So you got to solve the crime problem, and this mayor hasn't done it. Now, I love the fact that she's black. I like the fact that she's a woman. I like that she's a lesbian. The one thing I don't like is she's a former U.S. attorney. Right.
Good point.
Right. But, I say that in jest partly. Partly is she doesn't know how to govern properly. She seems to be. I fought a lot. Of course, I fought Madigan all the time. And maybe you could say I maybe could have fought less. I don't know that I could have. I don't think that guy would have. The only way to get things done with that guy was to fight him. But I don't feel like she's really has a sense to how to properly govern. So do I think she's vulnerable in the next election? I do. Very much so. And I don't know who the candidate or candidates would be that would be able to beat her. I got to tell you, Maze, you'd be a compelling candidate. I'm not suggesting that you do that. It's a bad way to live. But I do think that there's a good chance we could have a new mayor after the next mayoral election.
Hey, man, I appreciate that. Coming from you, who I still think got one of the rawest deals I've ever seen in life. And I got to say, so much of it was because you did unabashedly pivot to the black folks. And I think about all the people, like immediately, who really celebrated your demise in the political world, right?
Right.
Like, and in the lobbyist world, and they were like, how terrible and all, and just like, and I was thinking about it, and it's all of these people willfully participated in the enterprise.
Right.
But when there was the opportunity to create a new paradigm, it was better for them to stay as part of the enterprise than to do better for their people. And I need for y'all to understand that this enterprise, there's the paid workers in the enterprise, and there's the people that make the enterprise go. Typically, the people who made the enterprise go was us in the Black Caucus and our legislation, and the people who got paid was everybody but us. And you need to pay attention to that. And when you talk about the backroom Bull Connor, remember when I used to tell y'all about how Chicago State, with a $280 million operating budget, did less than $1 million worth of business in the black community, but you could find 3 million Irishmen doing work at Chicago State, overselling them products that they didn't need because our resources were used for the plunder of his team. You look at colleges and universities in the state of Illinois, across the country, they tend to be the economic engine of the community that they go there. But when you go through and you look at the contracts and you look at, and that was part of what made me get into this what's in it for the black people thing, is like I said, you mean we can't even do business at Chicago State? And you mean to tell me that I got denied business at Chicago State because of somebody who went to Notre Dame? Hey, man. Our wealth over the last 40 years has been used for the rape, robbing, and plundering of the enterprise. Understand that. That's why when you look at even our top black agencies, they usually got a white lobbyist, right? Because the white lobbyists can get them funds that the black lobbyists can't get them, although we deliver the votes. Look, y'all. Governor, I cannot wait to hear about your new series. I want y'all to make sure y'all also check out Lightning Rod. Tell everybody about what you're doing, because, man, I get a text from you all the time. You tweet. The governor out here doing his thing. And did I mention that the mystery man, and I'm going to tell you, you have one of the best parts of the documentary, The Mystery Man. We're going to keep him off the camera today. It's Mark Vargas. Remember, we was like, is he the did we find out if you the CIA, if you are the FBI, he's a spy some kind of way, y'all, I'm telling you. Like, you don't know. Every time I see Mark Vargas, he's on an island, beautiful lady in arms. He's probably he's probably at Mar-a-Lago. Man, if he ain't at Mar-a-Lago, he's somewhere across the world. But he is the international mystery man of distinction. In the building. Say something on the mic real quick. Yeah. Say what's up to the people, Mark. And Mark, tell them what's up, man. How you doing? That's Mark Vargas.
Good morning. I'm doing fine.
The international man of intrigue.
Yeah. Maze, I'd answer your question, but then I'd have to kill you.
Hey! See? That's why I don't even want to know.
Let me turn my mic off.
Turn the mic off. Turn the mic off. That's the Mark Vargas. Mark, are you still doing your show on Saturdays?
My show is live every Sunday night. It's called Mark My Words on AM 560 The Answer. And hey, I'm glad you're doing well. Thanks for coming on my show to talk about that carjacking. What an unbelievable story that could have gone horribly wrong, but I'm so glad that everything turned out okay.
Crime's out of control. I did that from Hilton Head, man. I was on the island, and I was like, I got to do it for my man, Mark. Just like when I called the governor, I said, hey, man, I need one of them your digs. What you call them, cameos. The governor did a 13-minute cameo for my birthday. I think he might have mentioned me once. No, I'm just playing. Governor, tell us about what else you got going on, man, before we get out of here.
So I'm the thing I'm most excited about is the documentary film that I'm working to produce.
Hey, man, shameless plug, Mark. I need a spot in that, man. I need a spot in that. Go ahead. Yeah. I need to be in the documentary, man. Come on, don't forget the little people, man.
Oh no, but I very much want you on there.
Come on, man. I'm telling you, you got me up. I 2 years in a row I was in the top Hulus. So let's make this happen. Okay, Governor. So the documentary about crime in Chicago. When is it going to happen? What should we expect?
Pre-production in a couple of weeks. Our hope is to film all through the spring, go to editing June, no later than July 1st, and have it sold and out after Labor Day or thereabouts.
Okay.
And you just committed to be on it, right?
Yes, I did.
Good. I'll be interviewing you,
my man. We can do it in the Porsche too.
Oh well,
I got the Porsche that got carjacked. I got it back. We can do that.
Okay, we'll talk about that white dude who carjacked you.
Right,
that son of a.
How does a black dude? Right.
Oh man.
But now it's a great thing because whenever somebody says, and those carjackers, I'll be like, you're right. Those damn carjackers. Right. They thinking black. I'm like, no, I was carjacked by a white guy.
Right. Right.
So you got your documentary. What else you got going on?
That carjacker is sort of like the Eminem of carjackers,
right?
Not
the Eminem of carjackers.
Right. He took rap music and So I got that, and I have my podcast, Lightning Rod, today, and maybe down the road you can be a guest.
Invite me on that too, man. Yeah. I'm a media whore, bro.
Good. Love to have you. So I do that. I do consulting work and strategic development work for a logistics company called CDL 1000. Andrew Sopko, great guy, Ukrainian. His family's in Ukraine right now.
Hey, man.
Yeah.
What's up with the Ukrainians playing the black people, dog? I've been looking at them videos. They won't let the black people get on the bus. They won't let the black people leave, and they're dragging them off. And I'm just telling you, like, I want to be in solidarity with Ukraine, but them videos of what they doing to the Africans over there is kind of crazy. So, Rod, when you go talk to your peoples, man, are you Ukrainian?
No, I'm Serbian.
Okay,
Yugoslavia.
Right. You make sure. I was gonna say, hey, but you know Russian be coming for y'all next, man. But go ahead.
Yeah, I know. So anyway, I do that, and of course I do those cameos, like I said. I just offered a position to be a contributor on a network I probably won't do, but I'm busy. It's all good. I do speeches. I get paid
What's your
to give
honorarium
speeches.
now, man?
It varies on who's hiring me.
All right. So, you know what? I'd like to get you to come on down to TP and have a sit-down conversation with the people. I don't know if I can afford your honorarium. But we'd love to bring you in front of just have a fireside chat with some of the black folks.
I'd love
just to have this conversation because I think it's important. And I do think that you occupy a unique space in the black community of what it could be like to have an elected official that was white but also empathized with the issues. I think we have been run into the ground by Mike Madigans of the world, and I think we all suffer from trauma and all types of things. And as we start to rebuild what is the way politics is done in Chicago, I think you're going to have a play in that, and I think you just need to stay ever vigilant. Mr. Governor, anything else you got to say before we got to get out of here?
I just want to say, Mace, thanks again for having me back. It's so great to be with you. It's great to be here on the near south side. I really enjoyed the time I'm spending with Pastor Brooks on the farther south side.
Shout out to Court.
Yep, New Beginnings Church. I've been given a new beginning. President Trump, who'd have thought that, right? But in the final analysis, my faith in God has never been stronger. One tremendous thing that happened while I was gone in prison was a chance to be able to read the Bible every day in ways I never read it before because I was so busy trying to get ahead in the race of life. It brought me closer to God. I'm not here to try to proselytize or be some fake politician who's claiming God. All I can tell you is I wouldn't have gotten through all of that if it wasn't for the love I have for my daughters and my wife and my faith in God. And reading the Bible gave me a much better understanding of what it is that what he expects of us, a better discernment. And in spite of everything, I hate nobody. I have no bitterness. And I'm forever grateful to the black community because during the darkest moments in our lives, my family, my daughters, Patty and me, the one place where we felt love and support was on the south side and the west sides of Chicago. It wasn't in my neighborhood when I was being lied on, but it was here. And we'll never forget that. And all I can say is thanks for having me back. It's always great to be.
Can you do me a solid real quick? We have a sister who I think was at every press conference, every time you went somewhere, she would pray for you anytime I needed her to be. Can you give a shout out to Sister Zakiya?
Sister Zakiya.
Sister Zakiya is tuned in, and she swear that you was her. If she wasn't a member of the Nation of Islam, I swear she might have kissed you. Send a big shout out to Sister Zakiya, who is watching and tuned in right now. Do me a favor, Yep.
It's kind of like a cameo, huh, Maze?
Yeah, but not like the last one.
No.
You can't go 13 minutes, man.
No,
and remember her name, Sister Zakiya, because you be like, I'm Rod Blagojevich and I'm the man. You be like me, go ahead. Say what's up to her.
Can I do this in like 45 seconds?
Yes, you can.
Okay, hi, Sister Zakiya. This is Rod Blagojevich. I used to be the governor of Illinois and former inmate number 40892-424. Needless to say, it was a lot better being governor. Food's a lot better. You never have to wait in lines and you get to sleep in your own bed. But this is about you. It ain't about me. I want to thank you for your love, for your support. I want to wish you the very, very best. And when I'm back on top, Sister Zakiya, anything I can do to be helpful to you would really please me. God bless you, and stay safe.
Hey, y'all, this is the Mace Jackson Show. I'm your host, Mace Jackson. Got my man, Governor Rod Blagojevich. What's the adjective we're going to put in front of Mike Madigan? You know how they be like, disgraced former. What we going to call him? But what we going to do? We got to, when we say his name, we got to be like, criminal enterprise, the enterprise might, we got to come up with what that adjective is going to be in front of it.
I got
so
it.
that when we do what is it?
Little Caesar.
You've been saving up some zingers for this. I think we're going to have a Jones session. Look, y'all, this is the Mace Jackson Show. I'm going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to close about what's next, man. Like, understand the entire Irish dominated political system that we have all grown up from literally the time before I was born to now has come down in less than a month. This is literally the Irish Ides of March. The only one left is Burke, and he's a shadow of his former self. But as that power vacuum occurs, who will fill it? And who will fill it for the black community? It's the Mace Jackson Show. We'll be back.
The Mace Jackson Show will be back after this break. Mace Jackson.
Uh-oh, what's in it for the black people?
I want to know, is there an offensive black people list? Who manages it, and do black people have to honor?
Maze. You're Uncle Tom. That's why you're an offensive. And the reason why you're Uncle Tom is the real story of Uncle Tom. How he worked for his freedom, and then the slave master reneged on him and wouldn't let him get his freedom. So you know what he did? He left. You're messing with the church's money. You were smart enough to work your way off, so you offended the white folks, and then you offended the black folks because your ass left, and because they wouldn't. And who manages the left is both black folks and white folks, because if you see in that situation, the black folks is just as mad as the white slave owner that Uncle Tom left.
What happens if you say that and someone gets offended?
You ran off the plantation, brother. That's why you're offensive. That's all I got, bro. Keep being offensive.
Thank you.
Mace Jackson.
Today, the Biden administration is releasing what it calls a new strategy to fight domestic terrorism. Following a 100-day review, federal officials are now laying out a new plan hoping to deter, detect, and prosecute domestic terror.
They went to the Capitol waving their flags and looking for smoke. He was out there looking for justice. They was over there looking for votes. Ashley Babbitt was with him and told all the people that nothing could stop us. She climbed through the Capitol window, breached security, and called a shot, bro. The media say she a veteran. They paint the picture to make her look greater, but she disrespected the same country that she served. That makes her a traitor. They was fighting police, resisting arrest. On God, I couldn't believe it. I guess blue lives only tend to really matter when it's convenient. Hey, these are the times we witness in history, all because they didn't get a victory. United States is so contradictory. We get equal rights, that's a mystery. Politicians, they more like magicians. You know they got tricks up their sleeve. We point out the flaws that's up in this country. You know they gon' tell us to leave. Somebody try to help me understand it. Always seems like a double standard. They be out here leaving us empty-handed. To certain rights we are not granted. The media is the culprit when it comes to the comparison. Cause when it comes to race, they always changing up the narratives. Terrorism. They say you a patriot, call you a hero. I call it terrorism. And that's on the real. You know what we know. I say it's terrorism. They say you a patriot, call you a hero. I call it terrorism. And that's on the real. You know what we know. I say it's terrorism. They say you a patriot, call you a hero. I call it terrorism. And that's on the real. You know what we know. I say it's terrorism. They say you a patriot, call you a hero. I call it terrorism. We still out here trying to get our reparations, but the government pump faking out here hesitating. I'm out here trying to keep my peace, so I keep meditating. The media make us look bad, they taint our reputation. Look, it's so sad that COVID causing toe tags. You claim you so patriotic, but you ain't wearing no mask. You out here wildin' with your MAGA flags and showing your ass. You wanna be part of some type of revolution so bad. Look, you talk revolution and constitutional rights, homie. I guess we forgot about back in the days when all of the business was whites only. Yeah. George Floyd got justice. Juneteenth got much respect. They made it a national holiday. Man, it's all good, but cut the check. They're giving out all of these vaccines, putting it in you like caffeine. Was it all in the part of the plan? I bet money like DraftKings. It's land of the free, home of the brave. 1776, we wasn't free till 1865, so we wasn't part of that shit. And that there's terrorism.
Back to the Mace Jackson Show. You are listening to the most dangerous show in the morning. This is What's in It for the Black People Radio. Mace Jackson, the most vociferous advocate for black people in the world.
For Ruthie Moore, for Ty Stroger, I am the host of the Mace Jackson Show, asking every single day, what's in it for the black people? And if you don't like it, you can still tell them Mace said, Mayor Lightfoot, man, we ain't accepting that. We ain't accepting that. Let's go. Yeah. Let's get down
down to business and go ahead and address the facts. Man, Lightfoot seems more lesbian than black. Rahm Emanuel's another case. He was just as tired. 50 closed schools left much to be desired. Police had Anjanette naked on that body cam. They suppressed the footage so it couldn't touch a lot of hands. Reminds me of that 16 shots in that cover up. Both of them similar, so I went and dug it up. George Floyd killed, a lot of riots happened in the town. Southside burned and they wouldn't let them bridges down. Grandmother sick, need a prescription and plus a couple groceries. You gon' have to travel just to get it now. COVID-19 out here shutting all the business down. Not enough SBA loans to even give around. So many failed businesses that you can put them in the pile. If you don't survive the pandemic, it's gon' sit you down. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. Shout out to Willie Wilson, hope one day you get to send it. We need some different players in the game to handle business. Too many shady characters like Madigan and BLAGO. But when you really break it down, it's typical Chicago. City full of gangsters, it's what the land was built on. Same streets with hood legends, DNA get spilled on. Carjackers out here lurking, trying to get they steal on. Looking for a block to put them Hellcat wheels on. Let us give bogus appraisals a red line. Car crackers out here getting minimal fair time. And I'm concealed carry, I stay with the pipe. But Illinois gun laws giving minimal rights. Stay up on the swivel, make sure I'm moving tight. Check all of my mirrors when I pull up to the light. Pick my homie up from out of town, man, he caught a flight. He was hella nervous, told him, shorty, this a way of life. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks.
Wake up, Chicago! Wake up, world! This is the Mace Jackson Show. I'm your host, Mace Jackson. Got my man DJ Riis the rule on the ones and twos. Riis, open up the phone lines. Give me a call 872-259-7474. What'd you think? Here's what I'm thinking. First of all, Riis, who's next? What's next? I said this more than once. Riis, right now, the wizard is dead. And I don't mean physically. I'm not saying that he can't potentially beat the case. But as far as being in power, this month we saw the end of the Daley regime. We saw the destruction of the Madigan machine. And we still waiting on Ed Burke, but he's a shadow of his former self. Riis, I would tell you that my entire political life, I've been bred to fear the Irish. My entire political life, I have always been bred to fear what Madigan could do, what Madigan would do to me, what Daley would do to me, what somebody could do to us. And now the boogeymans are dead. They're gone. So who do we have to be scared of now? Who are the new teams, and who determines who the real players are now? See, right, Riis, remember the offensive Negro list that we was talking about? Well, the keeper of the offensive Negro list is now gone. So now my guess is the shooters from Team Madigan probably need to be finding themselves a new home. Because the age of Irish dominance over the political realm and being punished, that's pretty much over. So now where do the black people go? Who are the new teams? Who are the new players? And where do we go? Who represents us? Remember at the beginning of this show, I told you that this thing, remember I've been telling you for 5 years this thing is going to come down and we needed to be politically ready to have an army. So y'all, do y'all understand right now? Here's the teams. You got Governor J.B. Pritzker playing to be the most powerful person in the state. You got Tony Preckwinkle. You got Chuy Garcia, who is poised, who has already made an alliance with Governor Pritzker. Governor Pritzker has already placed his bet. Right? He gave up the spot to the Latina. And then within a back-to-back moment endorsed Governor Pritzker. So Governor Pritzker is now in alignment with Chuy. You just watched as the Latino caucus, knowing that Madigan was going to go down. Now, y'all understand, we stuck in the Black Caucus fight with Mike Casper, who was one of the men of the Madigan army. So now he gets to be a pariah too. Right? Like, if Riis, what happened to the shooters for the other team? Like, if we take your mob and we kill your chief, what happened to your loyal shooters? You got to kill them. You either get down or lay down.
Yeah.
And the shooter got to look and say, who gonna be the new king? So now we got to ask ourselves, will the old Irish mob boss, Capo, that's representing us, imagine you showed up to the fight, and while y'all at the fight and you got the goon, everybody say the goon chief dead. But you standing up there like it's me and dude and we got the back of dude, but they like dude back dead. Give us a call, 872-259-7474. Where do the black people go now? Where do the black people who have spent their whole entire lives being beholden to white Irish men, where do we go now? We always had an excuse. We was going to be scared of what Madigan was going to say, what Madigan was going to do, what Daley was going to say, what Daley was going to do, what Burke going to say, what Burke going to do. Well, now, dog, are we now giving our power over to? Remember when I asked last week about what y'all gonna do about the undocumented immigrants, and our team at the black joint was like, we're not gonna answer that. Well, guess what? Now you gotta answer it today. Give us a call, 872-259-7474. Where do the black people go now? Where is the power? Who is the new chief? Because Riis is gonna be a new chief. Where do the soldiers go? Give us a call, 872-259-7474. Go ahead, caller. You on the Mace Jackson Show.
I know that Speedway.
Hello?
The second president of that.
Hello? Hello?
Hello? Hello?
Hey, caller.
Yes, hello?
Hello?
Can you hear me?
I can. You got your phone? We ready. We can hear you.
Oh, great. Fantastic. Oh, my God. Okay. My name's Maria.
Hey, Maria.
And I was calling really to, yes, hi. I think that was a great interview that you did with the governor. We're so glad that he is out and ready to rock and roll. Is that what you guys telling us on the radio station?
Yes.
Great. Okay, we're going to support him. I had a business over there in his neighborhood during the time when he was going through his trials and tribulations, and so we've been praying for him as well all these years, for him and his family and all that. Right now, we need to talk about abuse in these homes from family members that come and try to take care of loved ones and use their own personal money to take care of them, knowing that the POA is supposed to be paying you back because they're supposed to be responsible to basically take care of this loved one. But I have a horror story to tell, I'm not sure if I'm supposed to say this on air. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you're on a different topic.
You tell me, but
we on a different topic.
Yes,
though.
I do. Right, I know. So that's why I know. So I need help with that. I need to talk with somebody about it.
Well, tell us what's going on.
Okay, what's going on is this. I left and uprooted myself during the pandemic to come and help my only last living cousin, Henry Honesty. I don't know if I should say names or not, but I don't care because it's true. And she was 92 years old. And what happened was, because I come and I uprooted myself to go and live with her, I used my personal income to take care of her because the family members and the POA was supposed to be taking care of her. I come to find out they had her boarded up in a house upstairs by herself. She was partially blind and was just running rapidly through her accounts. And it used to be called Seaway, which everybody should know that, but it's called self-help now.
So wait. Let me do this. Hold on. Let me do this. Riis, take a number down. I don't know that this is something we should share on air. And I do think I'm not minimizing it. But Riis, let's get her number. Let's get her some help. Let's talk to the state on that. Right now, we got to, do y'all understand that do you understand that the entire political apparatus is now in a shambles? Riis, do y'all understand that for my entire life, I have been taught to fear the Irish political outcome? Riis, what is the way forward for black people? Do y'all understand why I think it's important right now that we have to be part of Black people first? Because none of the black people that we have right now have been accustomed to speaking on our behalf, and they have been waiting for their instructions from the Irish to do right by us. You just heard this governor tell you how our resources were stolen. I spent 5 years trying to explain to you all how this works. Does anybody see, Riis, who are the players now? If you remove the Irish from the equation, I feel like the Latinos are next up. I think the alliances are in place. They can split the city and the state. And let me just tell you, after this election, if they win, if Chewy runs for mayor, we definitely ain't going to have the county. You think the county ain't ready for the first Latino county board president? Oh, well, they won't have the first one because they had Joe Barrios. But I need for you all to understand that it is happening. And if we don't organize and mobilize, to all the generals out there that got all their armies, are we going to be lieutenants in the Latino? Are we going to all have to join HDO again? Remember how this went the last time? See, right now the world is being reshaped politically, and you're still not able to say yourself. Riis, it's almost unbelievable to me that we have the opportunity to be powerful, and they have convinced us that we are not able to talk about ourselves. Give me a call. I think it's so and I want to hold on. Riis, it's unbelievable to me that even in this day and time, we still are not able. Let me do this real quick, Riis. Over. That as the power dynamic is being shifted right now, I need for y'all to understand why I'm not crazy. I need for y'all to understand that Maze Jackson is not crazy. Riis, I'm about to play it now. Turn me up on the road.
They had to work to identify at the community level organizations that could be in leadership roles. So we're trying to rethink how we structure how money gets out, and also
see this? It's being done right now.
Make it difficult for organizations to participate. But I would say that we've heard this. The mayor has heard this. Completely agree that it can't be the same people over and over again, and we have to think as a city. And she's challenged us to think as a city about those barriers that result in kind of the same old over and over again. I appreciate the question.
Uh-oh, what's in it for the black people?
That's right. How you doing? My name is Maze Jackson, and I just have a question. I wrote it. As next generation black leaders, right? Because when I came here, this was about the next generation of black leaders. I want to know what the future of, what you all see as the future of Black Chicago, particularly as I hear us continually talking about people of color, and as we're watching this people of color debate play out in the city council. And additionally, where do you believe we fit as it relates to the rights of undocumented immigrants to vote in municipal elections, because we're seeing it happen around the country, and it is part of the disenfranchisement of black people, not people of color. So I'd like to hear a response to
that.
Who's going to go first?
Who wants to take a crack at that?
I think May's question was loaded, and I if he could repeat it, I could try to be helpful. I think the first part he said is like looking forward to the future. How do we envision black people? If I got that right, Mays, help me.
How do we envision ourselves? Do y'all understand that the future is here right now? I asked you last week, and the future came today. This is what we got.
But we're hoping in the state that the Black Caucus pillars that we passed, it didn't get the attention that it should. It didn't get the promotion that it should. But when I tell you how life-changing, we were doing a public series with the University of Illinois at Springfield, and one of the African-American women professors, she is teaching her class, a lot of them at Eastern Northern, they're teaching their classes off of our pillars right now when they talk about equity and transparency and inclusion. And one of the things she said was that we're only 4 times removed from slavery, and that it takes at least that amount of time to implement, to get it to that level.
We ain't got that time, y'all. It's here now. Our future is here today. Does that make sense to you? Our future is here today. Who are we loyal to? Who are we aligned with? So let me ask the question. Where do all of the black folks that came from somewhere who have been used to saying, what does Madigan think? Who will they get their direction from now? Look, y'all, we got a meeting tomorrow. Saturday. It's the Black People First Party. If y'all don't understand why we need to be meeting on Saturday to have a conversation about this, I don't know what y'all... Do you understand Chuy Garcia is now making the plan to run for mayor? Now, y'all, I'm with y'all. But if y'all don't want to be together, I'm not sitting it out again. So if y'all want me to learn Spanish, just let me know. If we gonna lay down, it's okay. Just let me know, because I don't want to run up the hill again. I don't want to have been spending 5 years of my life in the wilderness for y'all to bow down to some dude who is now gone. Y'all been waiting on. We've been waiting to plan our future on what this white man say. Do you understand that there has not been a political decision that has not been made in the best interest of black people without considering what this white dude is? And just let me help y'all understand what this means for us in the map fight. It means for us in the map fight that we just got our asses handed to us. You think anybody is going to side with Mike Madigan's former attorney now? Everything Madigan's going to be nuclear. I'll take you. Caller, you on the Maze Jackson Show. What's up, caller? Hello?
Yeah, man, what's up, brother? It's Hassan, man.
What's up, Hassan Al Amin? What up?
Hey, man. Hey, man, look, we already know, man. We have our solution, and I think that the question of the year or the decade or life, for that matter, is what are we going to do about it and what would happen? Now, I admit, I work a lot, and you see, I ain't got no problem doing my part. I donate to further the cause or whatever. And I did donate to your wife to carry the thing.
You should have bought you a ticket, man. You should have donated so you could come with us to New Edition on Saturday, man. That would have been the move.
I should be a what there again?
You know, we got she got a donor that dropped her tickets to $500, so she is having a skybox at the New Edition concert with food and drinks and everything. We're gonna be kicking it, man. You should have hit that one first. You should let me know. We would love to have you.
So it's too late because let's listen. I'm not going to say what I did.
Oh, well, tell me. Text me and tell me what you did, and then we'll talk from there.
I don't have your text, so yeah, I'll go through Messenger.
Oh, do it through Messenger, and I'll be looking for it today.
Okay, thanks.
That's my man, you know him as Hassan Al Amin. Who? Hey, Riis. Do we need to start taking Spanish now? Remember, Tony Preckwinkle team can't talk to us about black. Remember? Maze, we're not going to do this. Gregory. Who's the boss now? Who is the boss now? Do we still need to be scared, or should we be scaring people? Right? All the threats, all the things somebody could do to you, that's gone now. It's the Maze Jackson Show. Riis, you got anything you want to say to the people? I told you. Let me just tell you, I told y'all so, though. The Maze Stradamus up in this bitch. What's up, Riis? You got anything you want to say, man? You look a little pensive, man. You a little nervous. They done open the gates to the plantation. Let me play my plantation clip one more time. Cause I think they done opened up the gates to the plantation, and the black folks is like, well, where we gonna go now? You got me? I'm gonna play it for you one more time, y'all. Ready? Hold on, y'all. You gotta switch it over. Then you're gonna do it. Cause the gates to the plantation are open.
Political consultant and blogger Maze Jackson says the Duncan defection changes the power paradigm in Springfield.
When one guy breaks off the plantation, it's got to make a lot of people in Springfield real nervous. Real nervous.
Hey, Riis, that's why when they see me, you know how they be doing when they see me? You know what they say when they see me? What that boy say? What'd he say? Oh, Tamon Bradley, you ready? See, you gotta be ready, man. What they say when they see me, Riis? See, Riis, you got to come on, man. Pay attention. Dang. Now, Riis, what they say when they see me, man?
What's in it for the black people?
All right, let's take it there, y'all. It's the Maze Jackson Show. We'll be back tomorrow. We're going to continue this conversation because we got to talk about what the plan forward is. All right, it's the Maze Jackson Show.
Business and go ahead and address the facts, man. Lightfoot seems more lesbian than black. Rahm Emanuel's another case, he was just as tired. 50 closed schools left much to be desired. Police had Anjanette naked on that body cam. They suppressed the footage so it couldn't touch a lot of hands. Reminds me of that 16 shots in that cover up. Both of them similar, so I went and dug it up. George Floyd killed, a lot of riots happened in the town. Southside burned and they wouldn't let them bridges down. Grandmother sick, need a prescription and plus a couple groceries. You gon' have to travel just to get it now. COVID-19 out here shutting all the business down. Not enough SBA loans to even give around. So many failed businesses that you can put them in the pile. If you don't survive the pandemic, it's gon' sit you down. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. Shout out to Willie Wilson, hope one day you get to send it. We need some different players in the game to handle business. Too many shady characters like Madigan and Blago. But when you really break it down, it's typical Chicago. Full of same streets. Alleged DNA gets spilled on. Carjackers out here lurking, trying to get they steal on. Looking for a block to put them Hellcat wheels on. Let this give bogus appraisals a red line. Car crackers out here getting minimal fair time. And up to seal carry, I stay with the pipe. But Illinois gun laws giving minimal rights. Stay up on the swivel, make sure I'm moving tight. Check all of my mirrors when I pull up to the light. Pick my homie up from out of town, man, he caught a flight. He was hella nervous, told him, shorty, this a